Hello, everyone, and welcome to CSR Main. Tonight we've got another qualifier of the Ocarina of Time Randomizer Standard Tournament Season 8. This is qualifier number 5. I am Star, and with me on comms tonight is Burrito. How are you doing?
We're doing great. Thanks for asking, Star.
We're looking forward to a fun race here. We've got ourselves a good set of runners. We've got Purple Rupees, Alpha, Ink, and Tiris on restream. Should be a fun one here.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. This is my first time commentating, everybody. It's good to meet you all formally. And this is the course qualifier number 5 of Season 8. We're really looking forward to Purple, Alpha, Ankh, and Risk giving us a really good show today.
Got ourselves a water medallion start with the forest medallion. A water medallion start with the watermelon start with the Minuet song, Whip's Brain. I'm currently in the middle of restreaming stuff. 1 second.
No problem. As a reminder, the settings for this seed are 6 medallions are required for Ganon's Castle boss key. The child spawn is random, but we have the vanilla adult spawn, which is Temple of Time. And the requirement for Rainbow Bridge is vanilla, and for those who don't know, that is Shadow and Spirit Medallion plus light arrows in order to gain access to Ganon's Castle. So our runners will be looking around for those light arrows in addition to those 2 medallions in order to get their foot in the door.
Yep.
Also, people may be seeing for the first time the cool password locked feature. The runners are going to get a 6-button combination that will allow them to enter the password in 30 seconds during the qualifiers, and then they're going to have to wait for a little bit, and then once they get the all good to go, they'll go ahead and start. It's a really neat feature that got added this season. I think that's super cool. I also like it being Ocarina of Notes flavored. It's very in character.
Yep. Yeah. It's pretty neat. It says, unfortunately, we wish we didn't have to implement such a system, but cheating is a problem year over year. I say that as someone who is a Challenge Cup organizer. It happens, but we hope no one does that. And we should be going here shortly, at any rate.
All our runners are saints. Every racer, it's just an oopsie when it happens, that's all.
Yep. Alright, and I am getting us going here. There is our password. Right down, left, up, A up is our password of the day.
These are 4 very good runners. I'm sure they're going to be blitzing as soon as this starts. It's very fun starting with Water Medallion. Might get a little bit of Nocturne check early if they can get fire fast. We'll see. I do like Purple's name for the file. I hope chat says hi. Say hi, chat, if you haven't already. There we go. There you see the password system in action. I should make that the same system on my own personal locks. Unfortunately, it'll probably all be the same combination anyways.
Possibly, but should be going here shortly. Yeah, I know Purple, Alpha, and Tiris have been around a while. I think it's the first time I've seen him race, so we'll see how they all do here as we're off. Links start at, this is almost vanilla. Know-it-all house in Kokiri Forest.
Link was spending the night.
Yeah, looks just spending the night with his neighbors, it seems.
Yeah, why not? They're all kids. But it looks like they're all going to go check Kokiri's sword first, get that out of the way.
Yep, we have vanilla models on the left. I want to say that's a Dragon Ball Z model for Alpha, and
that is Goku. That is Goku with the power pole, and we got Hatsune Miku in the bottom.
And Minuet for Ink and Alpha, and Purple. Tier's deciding to walk it back out to Mido's house, it looks like. Gonna take an immediate check for Song of Storms. Is always nice to get early here.
That's actually a very good check to get early, because if they go back to Kokiri, they could of course get Song of Storms right away.
Perhaps Ink is a Sora skill that is almost certainly useless. If that is required, this is going to be his legendary seed.
Mido's not got anything good except for a little bit of love for the runners today, it looks like, as we're going to get some sort of heart out of that box.
Think save quit back to Know-It-All House. We're getting the other SFM hints. Hyrule Field is path to Bongo. And GTG Toilet's dead.
Well, I'm glad no one has to check the toilet today. Alright, well, it looks like we have Tira's going and getting Song of Storms now. And it looks like we have Alpha and Purple checking Lost Woods. Oh, going straight back to Kokiri to get more hints. Looks like we're getting now Song of Storm Grotto check. Good. Ink actually going out to Hyrule Field.
Okay, Skull Mask is dead. Fire Temple Hammer Loop is 2 small keys. And that's
We
a
got
nice
Bomb
bomb
Shoes at Alpha. Yeah, that's great. It was really worth checking those small chests early for surprises like that.
Yep.
Like Ink is going to go check some more open grottos.
Alright, and our bot's working for the hints today. Yay! Yay!
Alright, looks like Ink is going to Lon Lon Ranch. Going to go throw some Super Cuccos around.
Yep. This is pretty standard opener here, as Child is to go collect a bunch of songs and see what the game gives you.
Yeah, songs are only shuffled between song locations in the seed for those unaware, so it really pays off to go to check song checks as soon as possible. Hopefully nothing is in the back of Ice Cavern in this seed, but if you want an interesting seed, hopefully something is in the back of Ice Cavern. Waiting for Zelda's Lullaby all the way in the back.
That is impossible in these settings because you are logically required to have Zelda's Lullaby to get to Ice Cavern.
I'm so used to taking a Cucco over the bridge.
We've got some Lost Woods checks for Purple, and it looks like for Tiras. Alpha is heading to Ranch as well.
About to check, see Malin check right now.
Alan's Chickens was nothing of particular interest, and ZL here. I do expect we might get a Play to the Well soon coming up for our runners with Storms Choose and ZL plus Storms now.
They are pretty ready for it.
Can full clear the area, a lot of checks, that's a magic meter on the Ocarina of Memory game.
Good check. We got Ink going into the silo. It's like Purple's gonna check Grotto, then maybe go GC. We'll find out.
Yep.
Ink peeking the silo, nothing of interest. Turn around. We got a big chest in the grotto in front of Goron City and Lost Woods, which is Slingshot. That's a very good check to get early as Child as well.
Yep, it's very convenient because we don't have to worry about backtracking for that one. I have no idea what was in the Lon Lon Ranch Tower. Whoops.
It was a fast little peek, so I missed it as well, but well, whatever it was, it did not interest Ink. Alright, doing our Chest of Courage in Goron City right now. Loopies.
Just loopy.
And we got Ankh going into Market right now, it looks like. So we're about to get a lot of peeks there. Maybe see the rest of the hints in front of Temple of Time soon.
Yep. Cack Path to Morpha. We really might be seeing a play to...
Miku just got Bow off of Scrub T-Rose.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Lost Woods Bridge Scrub. That's always nice to get.
Mm-hmm.
And first bottle off the Woods target is not a bad find.
Woods having a lot of nice stuff in it today.
It does. And Purple Rupee in the silo for Alpha.
Yeah, having Slingshot and Bow early does open up a lot of things for runners to do immediately. I'll go and grab that shield. Not going to wait for it. Then we got, of course, T-Riz checking Sacred Ford Meadow, Grotto.
And we're going to get our Foolishes. Not quite sure. Domain is foolish. Colossus is foolish. And Water Temple is foolish.
And in the hint settings, we only see one dungeon is foolish, which would be water. Not pretty good one to get is foolish.
And the Bolero is, I think, the song in ice. I think was our song hint of the day.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Wolfos Grotto is useless.
Got purple out in Hyrule Field right now, making their way across.
Not useless, I guess. Hylian Shield, but not a major item.
Got slingshot minigame right while it looks like T-Riss is finding their own slingshot. Got a wallet from slingshot minigame. That's very useful early. Just in case any of these runners have a hard time finding their tunics out there.
Yep, everyone can do without, but it's nice to have.
You gotta check middle bottom water, which you won't have to in this one, luckily. It is annoying without the Zora tunic. At least for me.
Yeah, these runners shouldn't be a terrible concern. These are all... Purple Alpha and Tears are all pretty experienced runners, but has been doing pretty well recently. All four runners, I'd expect probably certainly at least Challenge Cup level. We've seen Purple Alpha and Tears in a good couple tournaments each by this point.
Looks like when Adult's taking Sacred Force Mount check immediately.
Yep.
Which gets them Sun Song, that'll be useful. Got Purple just finishing their Super Cuckoos. Alpha still in Lost Woods, it looks like. And T-Risk climbing around Goron City. Yep. We get a reset from Ankh. Likely going to go back Temple of Time and go check somewhere else.
I think it's Ink, not Ankh, but I'm also not completely
Okay.
sure. We are going to get a medallion check, though, which is new. Water, Jabu, Spirit, Shadow, Forest. So, Light Medallion Water is junk. Big Pose is foolish. Sorry, Big Pose is a Heart's Piece, and that is our first strength upgrade.
Yep, in the Bomb Maze of Goron City. Nice to get early, especially when you're already at Goron City.
Absolutely, and we do that because Spirit Temple is our Fire Medallion of the day.
Looks like the Megaton Hammer chest in the maze might not be good. T-Risk taking a peek, then leaving.
Yep. Link heading over to CAC, our first of our four to do so. And it just barely make it to daytime for Adel Anju, it looks like.
It's really good
T-Risk
timing
on
on
the other
that.
side is routing down DMT over towards Child CAC, which is going to be, I expect, that well play that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
It is
depending on the time
in
of
these
day.
settings for Anju, so don't have to worry too much about that. DMT Storms is a second copy of Cactomorpha. And our Light Arrows, okay.
Wow. So, Death Mountain Trail, Song of Storms Grotto. That's an easy peak for all these runners. They're free. Light arrows are never free.
Small chest here in the back of CAC, and a hint that Crater is path to Twin Rova. I would not be surprised if that is for Requiem.
Like there was a huge rupee over Dongo's cavern entrance. He was actually opting to leave DMT and go back to Kokiri, looking like they're heading out to Hyrule Field as Ink goes in to check Song of Storms. Looks like. Oh. We got sinkers, everybody. Got sinkers in the windmill. Good iron boots right there.
Boots. That is probably our path to Morpha.
I've got Song of Time from the Song of Storms check. Very good. About to get Andrew check on purple right here.
Apparently Burning CAC has
Eponas.
Thank you. And the remote
No problem.
grotto there. Thank you. I'm your restreamer and one of your comms, so I'm multitasking about a half dozen different things right now. There's
You're doing fantastic. Keep it up, Star.
and Shield's Grave is just it's a Deku shield that's a bit of a downgrade from vanilla. Ooh, big chest. Shadow Pot is a small key.
Andrew gave junk. Oh,
That's
second bow upgrade. Interesting. That might be the Hyrule Field hint then, huh?
No, because there's a second bow available.
Oh, okay, got it.
When all copies are functionally identical, the second bow just gives you more bigger quiver upgrade. It does not let you do any new checks. One can only be pathed if it locks all others.
Got it.
And since two different ones are equally available, you can get either of them. Neither is bad. There's also Field Scrub is also Sphere 0. Not that it matters, even if it wasn't, because the Field one is Sphere. Well, in this case, both are available, and that is bow lock, so yeah.
I love free arrows.
And apparently, according to chat, there is a bomb bag on the graveyard crate. Thank you.
Yep. We got that peek from Purple, who's now going in to check the Royal Tomb. Looks like Ink has the same idea, just checking as adult. We have Alpha actually looking in Lake Hylia. Maybe gonna go set up a Scarecrow song. All right, we're about to see Sun Song check in the Royal Tomb here. Bolero.
Oh, so that was Bolero that was sent. It was the composer grade that was sent at the Temple of Time. I remember it was Bolero, but I apparently managed to miss which one. Whoops.
It's easy to do when those runners are flying through those checks.
Yep.
All right, we got Alpha doing some fishing. Heart container in. Yep, right in Gerudo Valley. That's very good. Probably gonna go down, check hint, and waterfall now. For Royal Family Tomb, Chorches is junk, looks like.
Yeah, which is good for Ink, who did that as adult and will not be able to get the child that chest anytime fast. Doesn't have to worry about it.
Yep. Looks like Ink might go for Dampe here.
I'd imagine so. Or not, yeah, definitely digging.
Yep. Or Dampe Race.
Or Race, yeah, brain. The MC to Twinova could very well be reckoning, yes.
Got red tunic behind waterfall. Oh, that's really good. Especially if our runners end up going to Fire Temper early with low heart containers.
Yep.
So you got Alpha, let's see, checking hints, looks like Hylia. Purple is draining the well. Looks like Purple is taking the bottom of the well play like you were talking about earlier.
Yep.
And we got T-Risk going out to Hylia themselves, and we have Ink making a play for the Dampe race. Everyone guess their time now. No cheating. 51 seconds. 52 seconds. 51 seconds. I'm cheating. Even faster than that. Ink made me look like a fool. Alright, looks like Recovery Heart from Dampe Extra, and normal reward is more bomb chews. You know, nice. Fill it up a little bit. We had Purple just go check Skulltulas, which you get hints for 30, 40, 50, but not 10 or 20. 30 through 50 are dead, it looks like. Thank you, Mr. Moxie. I hope Alpha with another big chest over here. That is Megaton Hammer.
Oh, that's always a nice find.
See, that was Harrowfield Grotto.
Older Destiny, yep.
Yep. T-Risk get Scarecrow song ready. And then we're going to see Purple start smashing through bottom of the well checks. First check right here, you got a big chest. Several scale, there it is.
Alright.
Taking a peek in there. Got 7 shoes, so got to use bombs wisely.
Let's get our skill house hints here, which I think I already saw. Check said it was dead, which is thank you.
Mm-hmm. They'll still probably be coming back once they get 10 or 20 to see what's on those rewards, but no sense worrying about 30, 40, 50.
Nope.
Sorry for whoever wished something good was on 50.
Mm-hmm. That silver skill being there, by the way, since you already have iron boots, 100% confirms we don't need frogs too. None of the odds of that were exactly high to begin with ever, but it makes it zeal.
No, that's a good call. It looks like Redead, Grotto, and Cac is junk. And now we're gonna go peek the grave here and bottom of the well. What's in the sarcophagus? Hard to see. Can we get another peek? Now we're just gonna open it.
Apparently it's something we want, so...
It was blue.
Or choose, according to chat, thank you.
Or choose. More choose are always great, especially since purple's only got, what, 7 on there? And when you're bottom of the well, you always want those extra explosives. Lots of things to bomb down there. Don't hurt the bats. Just leave them. Yep, more choose. That's really good. Fills up to 12. Small refill, but some's better than none. We have Ink going up DMT, Death Mountain Trail. They might check that Song of Storms Grotto. Not imperative to get right now, but don't want to forget about it. It's an easy one to forget about, at least for me.
Absolutely.
It's like Ink's trying to peek that chest in there, doesn't want to waste any explosives.
Makes
Yeah, they're
sense.
sitting on 19 shoes.
Yes, that's the principle of the thing, especially because we don't know where our bomb bag's at. We're 18 minutes in, no clue where our bombs have gone to. And they could be in some really, really, really dumb spots.
That's true. I'm a little generous with my explosives, which is bad considering I had a seed that I didn't find a bomb bag for 2.5 hours. Oh, there we go. Ink's got their light arrows check coming in, and we have purple going into Dead Hand. Looks like Alpha's starting to clear out bottom of the well themselves, finding that silver scale that we know about. Small key in the back of Dead Hand's room. And it looks like purple's just going to clear Dead Hand while they're there. Tira's finally getting around to Super Cuckoos, and it looks like Ink's going into Goron City. He's going to start doing checks in there.
Yep. And right, chat reminding me, thank you, that we do in fact have a bomb bag on the Graveyard Crate, which is accessible now with that scale.
Yeah, good call. Purple getting a really fast, clean kill on Dead Hand right there. And it looks like Dead Hand's packing trash.
Yep, absolutely nothing there.
But looks like purple does with that heart, so they're going to grab that for a refill. And we got Ink looking in the bomb maze. Gonna get their strength. Nice to find. Alpha going for those bomb shoes in bottom of the well as well. Purple going around checking the rest of the chest they've yet to peek. And it looks like that like is hoarding something good, so it looks like purple's going to go around to check that big chest.
Yep, Link the Goron sells it, is giving us just a bloopy. Thanks.
Hey, he's been saving it just for you. It's the thought that counts.
It is funny, though, the lore sometimes gets a little screwy and random. It's like, hey, thanks for... thanks for volunteering to help out with the Volvagia problem. Have a bloopy.
You were named after me and I've never met you, excuse me? Looks like we got a big chest on purple's part. Oh, there's Hookshot, bottom of the well, right before the like room. Very good check to find.
Yep.
And we have Ink in Adult Crater, so we might get a peek at the top, and we're getting that peek into that big chest behind the like, which is Kokiri's sword. That's a nasty place to put it, but not the hardest place to get to. So yeah, like you guessed earlier, Star, bottom of the well, great place to go early. It looks like we're going to go check that last chest at the very bottom, though.
Yep.
All right. Ink going in a generic Grotto Crater right now, which looks to be junk, but we're going to peek that hint. Let's see what it is. I need to learn how to speed read again. I haven't been reading fast enough. I don't know how these runners do it.
I'm afraid I completely missed it as well. Hey, chat, help!
Bloopy in the standing free piece of heart. Looks like Ink's gonna climb back up.
Bigoron repeat.
Bigoron. Oh, got it.
We saw a Bigoron copy already? Oops.
Alright, Ink running out to very top. Looks like we had purple save and reset to go back to Kokiri, coming out of the Know-It-All Twins house. And they might be making a play for Deku now that they have Kokiri's sword.
Yep. Oh, hey, Woods target hint for the fairy bottle. Brilliant.
Hmm.
That's very useful.
Mm-hmm. Looks like Ink is checking Fairy up at the top. T-Risk got their Megaton Hammer out of Hyrule Field.
And as far as describe the seed in 5 words, it exists. It's not terrible. It's not the speediest thing of all time. It's fine.
Describe this seed in 5 words. Light arrows aren't free. Kinda.
By the way, Pierre and Fire is dead. And yeah, the runners are going, 4 runners are going all in completely different directions, so it's just a time and half just to have half an idea where they're going.
I'm glad seeing them all branch out, cover all areas. We got Purple checking hints right now on Deku. Missed the first one, but looks maybe I could see the second one.
First one was Fire Pierre is dead. Second one is Crater Path to Twin Rover repeat.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, that's probably for the song.
Mm-hmm. Inks in DC as Alpha gets their Kokiri sword.
And chat has a point, we have everything for the stones. That's mildly concerning. We have not seen an OoT hint, and our Hyrule Field is Path to Bongo, quite possibly for the hammer, because it sure is not for that bow.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it'd be great if something's good on OT, though.
Nocturne's really possible, as Rob Doc suggests in chat, since we know that hammer's Path to Bongo.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see. We got T-Risk cleaning up Child Cack Day. We got Purple starting to go up Deku. Got another hint on Inks that I just missed.
Rocks 2 repeat.
Rocks 2 repeat, thank you.
Yeah, our stone layout is Deku DC Fire, which depending on the Fire Temple boss key placement could be really nice. We do know the first 2 checks of Fire are both small keys in the basement loop, so it is possible we could be digging for a bit, but at the same time, boss key could be resting next to Volv or in the lava room, who knows.
Right.
I would not be surprised, though, to see that at some point, though.
So Purple just got done with the slingshot room. Both chests are junk, so we're moving on from there. Looks like they're probably going to climb now, as Ink uses Bomb Chews to open up Dodongo's back half early. But they're still opting to clear out the whole place. Good move. Don't want to skip any there. Looks like T-Risk actually waited for night. Probably going to go get Dampe Grave digging right now, as Alpha farms for rupees.
And this makes sense for T-Risk. He is basically clearing out all of Child Cack Graveyard and never wants to come back here.
I don't blame him.
Hopefully. He knows there's a bomb back there, but he's also got shoes, so he's hoping he doesn't need to come back just for that.
Ink finding Din's fire in Dodongo's cavern in the, right in the Armos room. And we got a big chest on Purple up in the torch room at the top, which is Big Goron Sword. There you go. And getting those swag backflips up the stairs ready, it looks like, warming up. Purple going down to basement, though, in Deku, as Alpha finally gets their foolish hints in front of Temple of Time. And you're 100% right about T-Risk. They're not letting anything go there. They do not want to come back to Child Cack. Yes, say hi to Roof Guy. Roof Guy's giving out a piece of heart. That's a good, nice vanilla flavor. Ink about to head across the bridge up in Dodongo's cavern as Purple picks up a couple more Skulltula tokens.
Skull Kid is dead again. We've got most of our hints now, missing 1 duel, 2 paths, and the OoT song hint. Yeah, still DC with Dins I think is fine, especially given the early collection of items.
Alpha checking that Great Fairy Fountain out in Castle Courtyard, so they might go check that second stone, and we might get one of those missing hints that you need.
And this especially goes for Ink, who has yet to go to Hyrule Field, so does not know there's a bow and a hook, so does not know there's a hookshot and what have you over there.
Oh,
Does
big chest.
Find another big chest, which has Nehru's.
Oh, Nehru's Love.
Okay.
Hey, Nehru's Love is cool too. All right, we're getting Dampe check. Dampe, give us something good. We got Bomb Bag from Dampe Grave Digging. Oh, that's really good. Runners, go back to Graveyard. It's full of explosives. Dampe's packing heat. How do you think he digs all those graves by himself? All right, we've got Goba coming up on purple, and it looks like we're going to have Ink go down to Dodongo here in a moment.
Yep. And Tears finds out that's a second bomb bag and just goes, okay, sure, whatever.
Whatever. Purple with a quick kill on Goma, very nice. And Ink jumping down to my big boy Dodongo down there. Favorite guy, love him. He's just hungry. It's just a complete misunderstanding. Let's see what Goma's got for us. Make it something good. Nope, just arrow refill. Nope.
So Deku Tree itself, an absolute bust and a half, other than the BGS, which is not itself worth it. But we might need that ruby, because, I think we might be on an AD. We're missing a couple of important things here. We're missing mostly Nocturne Requiem. Well, we know one of Serenade or Preludes at Colossus, and we're missing Saria Song of not much use. But both Nocturne and Requiem being missing is concerning, given that, well, we don't know what our OT song is.
Well, if you were one of the runners right now, what would you be really hoping for at this point, if you had to pick one thing?
Honestly, I probably wouldn't actually be all that mad about a AD, just because the game's already given you all the items, and this way you don't have to worry about committing to it for Prelude or something and going, oh, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Because you know that there's going to be people who commit to this, to AD with this item set and these hints.
Mm-hmm.
And so in this case, you don't want to go spend the time to do DC for just Dins and Deku for Zilch.
You also get Nehrus. Don't forget Nehrus. All right, Bolero's giving us Nocturne. That's useful for getting around. Get us into Shadow Temple.
That's really that's actually rather interesting, huh? Because Death Mountain Crater's path to Twin Rova, which actually cannot be for that Nocturne.
No. As Alpha goes in and starts doing Forest as our first adult, we get Purple fighting the Megaton Hammer in Hyrule Field as well. Looks like Ink's going back to Child right now. Gonna go maybe clean up some things there. Tira is still just cleaning up CAC.
Yeah,
looks like they're gonna take the bottom of the well.
Did anyone catch the item on the Death Mountain Crater freestanding? Because it's either that or the Fairy Fountain, I think, is our path to Twin Rova. Because it actually can't be Nocturne, for complicated reasons.
Well, I think Ink's the only one who's looked around there at all, and I did not see what they peeked.
Me neither. Someone in chat might need to go look at the VOD, because I have no idea.
I'm just too enthralled. Bloopy? Okay.
Crater Wall's a Bloopy. The long and short of it is for why Nocturne cannot be path to Twin Rova is because of path prioritization. Shadow's the vanilla Shadow Medallion, Spirit is the Fire Medallion. And it is Shadow and Spirit Medallions plus lighters for the Rainbow Bridge, 6 medallions for the Gan's Castle boss key, so any items that are required for the Shadow or Spirit medallions cannot be hinted on the path to one of the other 4 medallions.
Did we see what
and we hardwired Nocturne for Shadow.
Yeah, did anyone check Great Fairy Crater? I don't think
No, because nobody's been there with Hammer and CL yet.
People have either been there with Hammer or they haven't been there with Hammer, and they're missing one of the others. But hopefully we'll get one of those checked soon as Alpha goes around getting small keys, it looks like so far, in Forest.
Yep.
Ink checking Castle Grounds Fairy for that single nut. Oh, that was the hard one. Top of DMT's the nut. And we got Purple doing Child Market, can go in and do Slingshot minigame. We all know this is a good check today.
Ooh, and Ink is going for the Hyrule Castle 2 hint, missing a bunch of information, most notably paths. I think he's missing 2. This makes sense. I am really curious because I would like to know what our missing paths are as well.
Well, let's see if we can't find out. I gotta be super on reading this.
That's to come back to Phantom Ganon. Sun Song or Song of Storms? Song of Storms for the first tough shot, probably.
Probably. That's a good read. Alpha getting a heart chest.
Yeah, and Forest is the Spear Medallion, so that's fine for path prioritization.
Yeah, but our runners are definitely going to need that. Oh, looks like we're going to find what's on Little Richard. Or Richard the dog. Let's see what's Richard's mom got for us. Sticks.
So just fetch the stick.
You know, that checks out. Her carrying around sticks for the dog, and then she's like, here, you got me the dog, I don't need the sticks anymore.
Yep. Alright. Path command's up to date. I am typing like mad at the moment due to how much is going on between
That's okay.
notes and the hints.
You're doing a great job catching all this.
It is a lot to be keeping track of, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Ike made use of that Nocturne to get back to Graveyard. Looks like I'm going to do Dampe Graveyard Tour, so Ink's probably going to get really excited here in a moment.
Ooh, and Chet gets up to point out OT's Requiem. I am not surprised. I believe that was a Graveyard hint for Ink. So it's confirmed all dungeons. What is Rise? Not.
Hey, all dungeons great. That just means more run for us to watch.
Oh yeah, we're going to be here for a bit. Strap in, everyone.
Yeah.
Well, actually, with that said, we already have all items for AD as discussed, and we do have a lot of other items, honestly.
Yeah, it might come down just to runner's execution. Just raw technique towards the end. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. But that implies that for some reason or another, the hammer is still locking Bongo. We already have Magic Din's Nocturne, and a hookshot, bow, and bombs. That hammer's got to be locking our hover boots.
Okay, hover boots. I was going to say, is Lens not part of that hint?
It is not, because Lens is only required for the treasure chest minigame in these settings.
Got it.
So yeah, hovers are hammer locked. Where?
Interesting.
Either in Fire Temple, which would be really interesting, or Spirit Temple.
I'm calling it's going to be under Rusty's Switch, Song of Time block. Up in Fire. That's my guess right now. Locking it in.
It could also be one of a couple random Hammerlock checks. It's not here in the Grand City Maze, but it could be on the Gerudo Valley Hammerlocks or behind some goofy GTG key logic.
Mm-hmm. Crater Fairy?
Crater Fairy. Although, no, Crater Fairy is currently our Path to Twin Rova, and per previous discussion, that can't lock Bongo.
So, if it's Path to Twin Rova, would that mean it is Mirror?
Decent chance of Mirror, yeah, possibly Strength 2, depending on what exactly Hammer is locking. If it's Hammer for Requiem, then probably not Strength 2 and Crater, because then it couldn't be Path to Bongo. But Mirror and Crater would make sense.
Mirror and Crater, okay. See, Alpha about to get their inherited Bloopy. Got Purple using that Minuet. Maybe they're making a play for Forest Temple as well. As I'm sure the runners are also piecing together that, you know, all dungeons is probably required. Might as well start picking off what we need to do. Getting their Sun Song out of the way. No, they're actually choosing to go probably back to Kokiri. And it looks like Tigris is going for Deku. Probably going to grab those 2 hints, run inside, and check that out. Ink finally doing Child Cack, or the rest of it.
For chat asking about our always hidden Burning Cack is Epona's, OT is Requiem, Frogs 2 is a skill we don't need, and Skull Mask and Vic Ron are dead.
Yep. Thank you. Good question, chat. The hints are really important, as always, so knowing how your hints work and what you get in the distribution is very useful in this run.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, our Skulls command is busted for some reason. Let me go check what's up with that.
No, that's okay. As you go check with that, we might get
30-40 is dead for check.
Yeah. Alpha checking Crater Fairy. We're about to find out Strength or Mirror.
Or something else, which is
possible. Or something extremely strange. Come on, Gold Scale.
No, we know that's on Frogs too.
That's true.
If that's a Gold Scale, I have questions. And
yep,
nope, that's a Mirror Shield. Yep, that.
All right, there you go.
That makes perfect sense. That is our path. No problems.
The hints are making sense. When they don't make sense is when I worry.
Yep.
Alright. Ink and Bottom of the Well now, clearing that out. As we know, it's a really good place to be checking right now. Looks like Purple went and checked Scrub Gatos and then Bolero'd. Let's see, Purple checking... they're trying to peek top of there. which we already know
I
is
still have
junk.
no idea what that is.
There's their Nocturne grab. It's a plentiful seed. It's plentiful until it's not. So knowing that this is all dungeons, having that second hookshot upgrade would be pretty useful. Do you have any thoughts about where it might be, Star?
Not off the top of my head. Okay, bot's working. Not sure why it busted a few minutes ago, but it's back.
Good. I know these runners are capable of getting through that long shot for the most part, though.
Yeah, we will need it eventually for Water Temple, but
True.
unfortunately, on the other hand, hookshot can be basically anywhere. We know it should be hookshot locked with the SFM Path to PG hint. I just missed what that hint was for Alpha on DMT.
Oh yeah, I was looking at Purple Get the Mural Shield just now.
Chat, what was it? But yeah, second hookshot should also be Storm's Lock based on our paths. Hyrule. Wait, did you just say we got another Hyrule Field Path, chat? Because we've already seen 2 copy. No, but we've only seen 1 copy. Okay, we're fine. It's like checking our hint list. Nope, we've seen 1 copy only. We're fine.
Moxie says claim check is dead. Thank you very much.
And good point, Chimp. Could be, second hookshot could be behind, could be just behind AD because of K-Sword being Storm's Lock. Right.
Alpha just got their light arrows.
Okay, we've seen 2 copies of each path hit now per my sprawling note sheet.
Yep, chat's confirming that as well. Thank you, chat.
Nope. Yeah, for the hookshots thing, we know Circuit Force met his Path to Phantom Canyon. There was Sunsong, probably not it, and Song of Storms, which locks a hookshot and a Kokiri Sword. We already have 2 bows available. We have a strength that's not behind SFM. So it's gotta be that. So it's gotta be hookshots behind Storms, basically.
In these settings, we only have to save 1 Copperter in Gerudo's Fortress. They'll get us the membership card, so we might see some runners later on checking that GTG, but right now they have a lot of access to a lot of the required dungeons, so we'll likely be seeing those runners focusing on that for now. I don't expect them to go to GTG anytime soon. See, it looks like Purple's going for the Song of Storms grotto on DMT, and I think everybody would have found their light arrows by now. Ink's still working on bottom of the well. And it looks like Alpha is also starting to work on DC there, making good use of the hammer to take down those mud walls. T-Risk going in to get Goma right now as Ink finds their hookshot. Another good bomb shoe execution by Alpha to get into back of DC early as we see Purple starting to clear GC themselves. Ink getting their Kokiri Sword.
I muted myself, using my inline mic and forgot about it. Whoops. Yeah,
that's okay.
Just
Go
for
ahead.
a second. But yeah, to the point about GTG access, though, we won't see that for a while, I'd imagine, because we have no way to get there, a lot of other things to do. And one of the only things we are missing is, in fact, Longshot, which right now can't be in GTG because we don't have a way there. But
and then Opponent's Song is behind
which is behind Jabu and Spirit, and we've got no items for either of those dungeons, so we're ignoring that for now. GTG is not somewhere you want to go because, for all you know, Longshots are go mode.
Oh, exactly. If we're checking GTG, then this is going to be a very long seed.
Like, it's possible. We are featuring only 4 runners on Restream. 70 people total entered this race. It is entirely possible one of the other 66 is in GTG.
Yeah, so we have 60 cents entrance today in this qualifier.
Well, eventually, although right now nobody's getting to GTG any which way because we don't have opponents and we don't have Requiem. So yeah.
Oh yeah, no, of course. We're just talking about the level of participation here in these qualifiers, which has been very high. It's been nice to see that. I know the first one had 94 entrance total.
Yep. Yeah, it's always nice. This one tends to be a little. Odd for timing because 6 p.m. Eastern, midnight European is a little awkward.
Well, I know the qualifier tomorrow is at 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern, so that's pretty early for West Coasters.
Yes, this is a forest clear for Purple, who I'm not sure if he has the OoT hint yet, but everyone has to at least suspect by now. It's the game's telling you. With a pretty big sign, it's AD before you even get the hint.
Go get all the things.
Like, that hammer to bongo path has to immediately set some alarm bells off.
T-Risk grabbing another gold Skulltula from Guardhouse. Trying to hit that 20 as fast as possible, it seems. Let's see. Looks like Ink is making a play through Deku. Makes sense. See T-Risk finally getting their hints. Yeah, Royal Tomb was Bolero. Getting their foolish hints. Likely to finally go adult. Really swept up his child.
Yep.
Alpha going to Dongo.
And yeah, Ink does know it's AD. Checking our runner's personal tracker is the only runner who knows for sure it's AD, although absolutely everyone has to have at least a suspicion by this point. Ink is, funnily enough, the only runner without the hammer, but is the one who knows it's AD. The other three have a hammer and the idea, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hammering that mud floor going into Dongo is tricky. I just always use a bomb, but
it is a little finicky. Without bombs, though, it's you might as well go spend 10 seconds.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I believe. Have we seen bowling yet?
We have not. So T-Risk is actually the first one to go check bowling, but that's because a lot of the runners probably haven't found bomb bag. And in these settings, remind me, can you do bowling with only bomb shoes, or do you need to find bag first?
Bomb bag, because shoes are not in logic. I did not see what's on bowling.
The first one's Hylian Shield, but I guess
T-Risk doesn't have that yet.
Yeah. But I guess it beats farming more rupees. Because they'd either have to buy one, go out, get more rupees, come back, or what. So this is technically a cheaper Hylian Shield.
Chat's saying that they're slightly concerned that Ink is still missing a bow. There's a bow in Path to Bongo Hyrule Field. Ink will definitely pick that one up.
Yes.
Even if you get a hammer, you're still going to want to just go clear the rest of it.
And it looks like second reward is a slingshot upgrade.
And we don't care about that one.
Nope. Any seed where you don't have to do bomb chew bowling is a good seed to me. I have low standards. Alpha grabbing a gold Skulltula, looks like, off of DMT as Purple continues works through Forest. T-Risk grabbing another Skulltula, bringing them up to 12. Looking like they're going to check Castle Ground hints and maybe Fairy as well.
Yeah, now that the initial craziness has died down a bit, runners are still on 4 completely different routes, but we are getting to the point where they are all doing checks we've seen before, so we can finally take a bit of a breather.
Yeah, this is a good time to welcome everybody in who might be turning in late. This is the Season 8 Ocarina of Time Randomizer Race Qualifier. This is Qualifier number 5 again. Thank you for everyone tuning in to Zelda Speedruns, and for ZeldaSpeedRuns for helping host this restream. Star's been doing an excellent job on co-commentary with me, doing a lot of the tracking and the main restreamer, so everyone thanks Star. Also, we want to thank our trackers, Carliana, Veyevov, please correct me, Star, if I'm getting these wrong, Mr. Moxie, and Warren Traveler doing an excellent job on tracking.
Absolutely.
Yep, go ahead.
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, and of course, thank you all the runners for letting us to put you on this restream with Purple, Rupees, Alpha, Ink, and T-Risk, who are all doing an excellent job showing us a lot of different paths and routes to take going through this, such as Purple pushing those blocks in Force right now, Ink's about to clean up Deku, Alpha finished DC, doing Shooting Gallery, and T-Risk getting that Richard reward, because everyone needs a few more sticks in their inventory.
And Veva is how you pronounce that.
Thank you.
Alright, stick upgrade for T-Risk. But yeah, we are 46 minutes in here. We have a lot of stuff. Every single runner has at least the idea that this is an all dungeon seed. Only Ink, I believe, actually has the hint, but everyone has to at least suspect it's for either Nocturne or Requiem. We as a restream and Ink does as well know it is confirmed Requiem. We've also got a pretty good amount of hints. We have for our path. Mostly our interesting hints are paths. The regular hints are not so nothing particularly fancy there. So we have Hyrule Field to pass to Bongo for a hammer, which is everyone but Ink's idea that this is all dungeons because fire is a stone. Cactus Path to Morpha for Iron Boots, possibly for Song of Time with Boskies on River Chest. Not that it matters a ton. Kratos Path to Twin River for the Mirror Shield, and Circuit Forest Meadow is Path to Phantom Canyon for Song of Storms because there's a hookshot in the well.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like we already found Boss Key in Forest. Purple doing a good skip to get down to that lower ledge. Gonna go check Floor Master, Master Hand Room. I always forget what
Floor
the
Master.
ones at the Floor Master. Thank you. They always want to shift their names, but only slightly.
And yeah, we already have all of our items for all dungeons. We have no beatable medallions.
Mm-hmm. Also, just again to show how full this seed really is, T-Rus has just gone adult, and we're over 40 minutes into this run. So that's how much there is to do early on in this seed. And we have Ink going around checking Hyrule Field. Likely find something good if they keep checking those grottos, as we know. Purple climbing back up the big blocks with a very suitable purple mirror shield. Alpha checking graves. T-Rus trying to peek DMC Central. Ah, yeah. Alright. Purple flipping the first twisted hallway immediately. As we get Ink still running around Hyrule Field. T-Rus checking
Grave
Fairy.
is dead, confirming that it is Storm's path to PG and SFM, as we all knew anyway.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we got a big chest up in purple in the first twisted hallway room. There's Ruto's letter. That's really good. That's really good find, knowing that this is all dungeons. And it looks like Ink is finding their first bow.
Yep. To Ink, the Ink does know that's not the only bow, and it does not matter because Ink's going to find the hammer at some point eventually and go, yep, that's the path. Because Ink does know it's AD.
Yep. Ink checking the Scrub Grotto as Alpha does damp areas. Purple hopping across, going to go into our first Poe room of the 4 Poe sisters. My favorite is Meg. It's the one name I can remember, and she's also purple.
Yep.
Looks like Ink is actually heading into Lake Hylia. Gonna go check the child stuff down there, maybe set up Scarecrow's song, as I don't believe Ink's gone to Lake Hylia yet as child.
Nope, so this will be some new checks.
Alpha did head there earlier, and did do fishing, so we did see a little bit of Hylia earlier. It's like that first Poe sister chest is nothing to be concerned about.
Yep.
It's a nice little bundle of arrows. Ink peeking the normal Ruto letter check. Forest is beatable. Does look that way with the number of keys players are getting early and how early that boss key shows up.
I mean, it's guaranteed beatable with this inventory.
True. Just a question of how many chests do you really need to look at. Hopefully the runners don't have to go their way for too many. Just speed through it. T-Rus finally getting their light arrows, so I think we're all set up on that now.
Oh, forgot he hadn't gotten those yet, yep. And, well, I don't think anyone's going to be skipping any chests in Forest. I have to imagine everyone goes Forest early this seed. You get all the items. It's really obvious really fast this is all dungeons.
Yep.
No one's going to be skipping chests in Forest. It's also just pretty linear anyway.
Right. Alpha getting their Bolero from the Sunsong Grave, Royal Tomb. T-Risk checking back of Bomb Maze to get their first strength upgrade.
Oh, I see what you mean now, Rob. Right, yeah. I guess fourth is a medallion. I was thinking it was a stone for some reason. Whoops. That makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops.
No,
yeah,
that's
for
okay.
some reason I was thinking fourth was a stone. But
There's a lot going on right now.
Deku, DC, and Fire. And yeah, so it's just our runners clearing dungeons at the moment. We've already seen DC and Deku. There was Sins and DC, and that's really about it for anything of interest. Nobody's touched Fire yet.
It's always fun to see, though. We have two people actually in Goron City Adult right now, Alpha and T-Risk. Alpha actually buying the tunic, maybe making a play for Fire soon, but actually playing Minuet. Maybe they just felt they just want to carry around a full wallet.
It doesn't really matter which one you do first. He's got the inventory for both dungeons. Just beat them.
Right. It is smart, good wallet control management. Having a full wallet, knowing you're going to go maybe clear another dungeon, is like, I'm here, let me grab that tunic, and then let's head out.
Yep.
It's like Ink is taking the Owl Express back to market as Purple heads through the falling ceiling room. Might see a new check here soon. Oh, looks like it's not important. Just a heart.
Yeah, I mean, it's health refill at least, but yeah, this Forest Temple's been a snooze. I think we've, for the most part, those being the only item of note.
Mm-hmm. Only item of note, but important one. And Ink finally found their hammer, so they're pretty much pretty good to go there.
Ink now has full AD access.
I'm going to see Purple fight the third Poe sister as T-Risk starts doing Forest themselves. Alpha also working their way up through the pushing block puzzle. Yep, Ink going straight to Bonshu bowling. I was thinking about what they were doing back in market. I'm like, yeah, I think they're going for the bowling.
Goron Tunic is in the waterfall in Gerudo Valley, chat.
And then Ink finding their first slingshot in Bomb Shoot Bowling. And yeah, they're going to go for it. Alpha fighting the boss key themselves now, and Purple fighting Meg.
Yeah, I was thinking about that for a sec, because Ink just found their hammer in the Boulder of Destiny alongside a hidden Wood's target is a bottle, but that's actually our first regular bottle. Ink doesn't have a bottle yet, and it's just covering his bases in case the seed's being stupid, which, fair enough.
Yeah, playing safe is definitely smart, especially in the qualifiers here. Looks like Purple's getting ready to head down into the basement and fight Phantom Ganon, and also get this last couple of checks before Ganon's door.
Yep. And now, will Ink run all the way back to safe cut back to Kokiri just for that bottle? No, I don't think so. But it's a safety measure.
It's good to know it's there. Grabbing Skull Mask.
Of course, we know Rudo's letter is in fourth, so it's a moot point, but it's a good safety measure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you never know when having a second bottle, especially if their runners end up in Ice Cavern without blue fire arrows. Alright, looks like Ink is going back to Adult, and as Rob is pointing out, Ink could run into a problem with magic, that is true. Ink is the only runner to not have found their magic yet.
I was just thinking that myself, because I was thinking about, like, kind of, the bow wasn't an issue because there was one in field, but there's a magic in Kokiri that in Lost Woods that might be a problem, because Ink went other places immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Ink was our first runner to go Adult, and kind of skipped out on Lost Woods.
Yep, and sometimes that can really pay off, but in this seed, sometimes going back to Lost Woods early is just clean up, get it out of the way, don't think about it, and this is definitely one of those seeds to do that. That is true. He hasn't done the Ocarina of Time game or Slingshot, so that is 2 checks instead of 1. We have Purple absolutely gonna smash Phantom Ganon here. And Alpha
Ink
fighting
also
their
has the Lost Woods Bridge Scrub and Child Goron City and all that, because he didn't do any of those things.
That's true. So multiple checks in Lost Woods. I know Bridge Scrub gets skipped a lot of the time because it's a little out of the way, and people are like, I don't really want to walk over there. But obviously, this seed is a good example of why you should check that scrub.
Yeah, because it was most of a runner's first bow.
Mm-hmm. Purple getting the quick kill on Fan Gannon, though. So about to see what's on this. Let's see if he drops anything good for us.
Answer to that question is...
Nope, just $5. 1 blue pea, please. Alright, be interesting to see where Purple goes next on the list, as our runners are so primed for all the dungeons, like you've mentioned, Star, so they could just take on whatever they feel like, really.
Probably Fire Temple, if I had to guess.
Probably.
Or DC, either works.
Nope, playing Nocturne, actually. Maybe gonna go do Adult Cack stuff? I don't know how much Purple has done with that so far. Checking a hint. Ocarina of Time is Serenade of Water, yep.
Oh wait, Ocarina's Serenade. Chat said Ocarina's Requiem.
Yeah, that hint said Ocarina of Time is Serenade of Water.
Oh, never mind. So that makes us look like a bit of fools, and now that's interesting.
It's hard to read those fast, so I don't blame anybody. Or maybe I got my eyes crossed, but I felt good on that one.
Okay,
Purple
that was definitely Red Serenade. We're a bit of goofs on our side, which is time to go reevaluate some of what we've been discussing for the past few minutes. This happens, by the way, as you're said to me. Sometimes we all goof, and like goofs. But anyway, so that just makes it more interesting that our hammer's path to Bongo. We really need to go Fire Temple. Is what that answer is. That's what I think that boils down to.
Yeah. That's okay. This is a good time to reevaluate hints and checks as our runners are doing checks that we've already seen. As we have 3 runners clearing Forest right now. And we have Ink looking like they're doing Adult Cack right now. Looks like they're going to go ahead into damp areas.
And chat points out this is still kind of a noob's AD because Ruda's letter was halfway through Forest in the boss key chest, and we had to go into Forest is a medallion, so we had to go halfway through DC. We had to go to DC for Dins. Deku's pretty quick. Fire is still strongly likely to be required for apparently our hover boots because Hyrule Field is path to Bongo. We found a hammer, we found a bow, and we haven't seen the Teknite Grotto. That's about it. That command needs an update because bit of a communication snafu. It is actually Serenade.
Okay.
Because OT, because Hyrule Field is path to Bongo, it cannot be for the bow because there's multiple bows available. Iron Boots would be very unlikely because irons are currently path to Morpha in CAC. And the only other option is Song of Time, which would put the boss key in River Chest. Quite possible, admittedly, but it does lower the odds bit. Hammers are assumption for the path at the moment. It could be Tektite, but again, not the most likely option here.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what we do find behind Hammer.
How's Hammer Path to Bongo? Locking hover boots, apparently. We've got everything else for it.
Probably getting their Iron Boots and getting their Song of Storms check finally.
We don't know where hovers are, we just know that it's gotta be hovers, because we've seen everything else we need for Bongo. We have Nocturne, we have Magic, we have Dins, we have a Hookshot, we have a Bow, we have a Bomb Bag, we have ZL.
Yeah.
We have a Strength Upgrade. Again, there's just nothing else that it could lock.
Yep. I already locked in my guess for Fire Temple, Rusty Switch under Song of Time block, in the room with the Gorons down in the jail cell. So everyone think about your Megaton Hammer checks and start making your thoughts. Where are hovers? Where are our floaters? Highest Goron? Yep. Sorry, when you say highest Goron, I'm thinking of something else. Let's see here. We got Purple still cleaning Adult Cack, maybe going for Shooting Gallery. I don't think he's running there yet. Right.
I don't think anyone's been there yet. I might be wrong, and it's been quite a lot to keep track of with Forerunners.
That's okay. We got Ink going down into the well, though, with using those Iron Boots. Grabbing the key without draining the well. Do you need hammer for the top of fire check? Pierre? No? Yeah, some of our runners are using their own music right now. You have red, blue, yellow Pokemon trainer battle music on alphas, who we're getting audio from right now. So if you hear some non-Zelda music, that's what that is.
Yep. And to answer the question about the hammer chest at the top of fire, whether or not that's hammerlock, well, yes, it's the hammer chest in vanilla, but the real answer in practice for Rando is keys. Today, that is most likely key lock. We know that from hints that there are 2 keys in the basement loop, so there's a very, very good chance you need at least one of those keys to continue to the top of Fire Temple. Hammer chest is probably hammerlocked. Most of Fire is probably hammerlocked.
Alright, we're getting a report that 10 Skulls is dead from Moxie, as it sounds like Purple checked Skull House there really quick.
Yep, yeah, we saw 10 Skulls earlier from, I think, Alpha. It was a heart piece or something.
Oh, okay, got it.
Also, slightly belated happy 1 hour, everyone.
Happy 1 hour. Raise your waters high and don't forget to hydrate.
As he said that, I was getting a drink of water myself because
there you go.
Hydration is important, especially when you're on comms for something like this, because we're going to be here for a while.
Yeah, Star earlier was talking about being trilingual, and the little Danish I know from relatives is skull. Which you raise your glass, it's like a cheers, lock each other's eyes, and then drink and say Taluga. So there you go, skull, everybody.
Yes, I am one of... We have a rather international community in the randomizer. I'm not completely sure on our runners' nationalities. I know for certain.
Oh, that's okay. Tell us about the French restream. You were talking about that earlier to me.
Oh yeah, so for chat who is not familiar with me, I am trilingual. I am a native English Mandarin speaker. My parents are both from China. Born in the US, split my childhood between the US and China, mostly US, but a few years in China. And I've been speaking French for going on 14 years now, and I commentate in French pretty regularly for Ocarina of Time Randomizer, the Past Randomizer, and Minish Cap Randomizer now as well as a relatively recent addition to my repertoire. Now, Tectic Grotto is dead, yeah, hammers are past and field. That's not surprising. I would commentate in French for Z2R, Zelda 2 Rando, because I'm pretty active over there, except for we don't really have Francophone runners, so no one to comment French.
Everyone, get on that Zelda 2 Rando right now. Star needs to commentate for you.
It's pretty fun, but it is very different. But anyhow, yes. Big shoutouts to our international community. We have a lot of runners from all over the world. Certainly plenty of Americans, Canadians. We have a lot of Europeans from all over Europe. We have varying others. We have Central Americans. We have at least one person from Costa Rica and at least one person from Chile, along with a rather large Brazilian community. We have Brazilian restreams as well. We'll have Brazilian restreams as well for the brackets and for the Challenge Cup. And we'll have German restreams, I believe, as well for this new addition for this year.
Oh, that's awesome. General thank you to all the volunteers. Now, again, the trackers today, Star and Restream, and everybody else who are on those other language release streams and just in the community. There's a lot of people who work to make this happen, so we appreciate your support and everyone being here and watching and having fun. We're all here to have fun.
If you'd like to find out more information, you can join for volunteer. You can join the OTR Discord there in chat. Put the link in chat if you haven't already. You can sign up for English restreams actually by going to this command. Yep, there's the command for signing up for OTR English volunteering. And then if you would like directions to one of our alternate language communities, go ask in the OTR Discord and someone will provide the appropriate link.
Alright, looks like we got Alpha saving and resetting, going back to Temple of Time. And we have Purple checking Hyrule Field, who found their Quiver upgrade. Ink still working through Forest Temple as check-in, and T-Risk going down to fight Phantom Ganon. So, looks like Alpha actually just went back to Child. Let's see, what else do we have to clean out?
Deku play soon, I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh yeah, that's true, Alpha hasn't gone back to Deku yet.
Again, doesn't know it's the OT hint, but game's kind of smelling a bit.
Would you be surprised if any of our runners made a Jabu play right now? Considering
without a
boomerang is still
boomerang?
up in the air. Yeah, there's not very many checks in Jabu. With these settings, there's what, 3 boomerang, compass, map.
There's one check available without a boomerang, and it's the boomerang
Without the
test,
boomerang,
that's
yeah,
it.
there's one. But if you had boomerang, it'd be a couple more. But
It's 4
so
total.
Jabu's not a really safe play.
I wouldn't be hiking all the way to Jabu just for that, although I would be curious if someone goes Zora's River at some point eventually, because that is 1 Sphere 0 check, 2 more checks just available. We have multiple ways to the river.
It looks like
And a couple hints, because we are still missing 1 path, and that path could be interesting right now. We are out of our path hints otherwise, mostly.
Moxie's
Ice
point,
could be a play, true.
yeah, they could just go, especially since Alpha has letter, go give letter, but just don't go to Fountainous Child. Purple just bought their Goron Tunic and then went back to Lost Wood, so they have that empty out their wallet.
This is a nice play for him.
Alpha getting that Richard check. Purple going back to Zora's River. So yeah, there we go. We might see some river checks here. Looks like freestanding heart piece at the end.
This is our first river play of the seed.
Yeah, and it's vanilla back here so far. Hint. Yep, GTG hint again.
Toilet copy. Okay, you don't need that.
Looks like Purple's going down river. Maybe check that second freestanding heart piece. And I don't think any runners have gotten up to check that generic route yet. It's been so long.
Nobody's been to river at all in the past hour and 7 minutes. This is our first play to river as Alpha gets his first mom bag.
Makes sense. River's not a very fun place to be, especially as child.
Sometimes it can be a play for early information and hit items if you don't get much, but we got a ton of stuff in the early game, so these runners just didn't need to go here.
Yeah, good point. Alpha saving to go back to Kokiri. Probably making that Deku play like you mentioned, getting another hint. Pizarro top of, yeah, okay.
Saw that already. Again, we've got all of our hints except for that path in our last duel. Last duel is kind of whichever, it's the path we really want.
Freestanding heart piece number 2 looks like to be a bloopy hint. Bomb shoe
bowling is a highly end shield and a slingshot.
Yep, there's your duel.
Gabe, yeah, that we wanted the other missing hint, thanks.
D-Risk playing Nocturne, checking that graveyard hint.
Now knows it is not AD for the song, but is probably still going to be looking at those stone dungeons anyway, given how this seed just kind of smells.
Hey, it smells great. I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, the inside of Jabu won't, but the rest of the seed's been smelling pretty good. We got to get our runners to do AD. It's great.
Great for the viewers. I'm a little... I have perhaps a bit more mixed feelings about this as a runner. Because in this kind of seed where you kind of end up having to go everywhere, it's a little awkward here because it isn't AD, but the seed also was kind of not so subtly hitting you to go your stone dungeons.
Is to Maki's
so it's hard to know how to feel about this seed, I think, a bit on some level.
I don't believe King Zora skip is allowed in these settings. I think it's just a hint check. Oh, it is. All right. Death Mountain is path to Evil's Bane, which we already know what that is.
Oh, that's a pretty useless one. Yeah, Death Mountain Trail, I assume that was.
Yeah, for light arrows.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty garbage. That's our last path and our last hit.
Our hints fizzled out pretty fast. And there's the Zora King skip. Good job, Purple, heading into probably making that ice cavern play like Moxie mentioned earlier.
But yeah, Death Mountain Trail to Evil's Bane for light arrows. Unlike previous seasons, you can get a direct path for light arrows because you need light arrows to open Ganon's Castle Bridge. Unfortunately, it's really not a particularly useful hint otherwise here.
No. We're getting to check Fairy Fountain, though, here at Zora's Fountain.
Yep. Again, King Zora skip allowed, not in logic. We don't care. We have letters.
Good point. That was one thing is typically I watch a lot of like glitch logic or people use glitches. So then when I come and do glitch stuff, I always forget what is and isn't allowed, especially when Ocarina of Time is the game that just keeps on giving with glitches. People just keep finding stuff, especially with Rando, where people are looking for specifically new strats to execute. And it looks like we have fire arrows floating on Glacier there in Fountain.
Yep. And we will get those for purple because he hasn't been to DC yet to pick up his gens from there.
Mm-hmm. It's like purple's gonna go check the Iron Boots, check Piece of Heart, bottom of the Fountain.
Yep. Yes, King's Aura Skip was banned during Season 4 because it was found either during or just before it. This is pretty typical, is that if a major game-breaking strat is found, such as King's Aura Skip, during the middle of a tournament, it's generally going to be banned, just because you don't want to have the rules significantly change mid-tournament.
Mm-hmm. 20 Skulls is dead.
Okay,
It's Recovery Heart. Yep.
Yeah, so yeah, Iron Boots is the path to Morpha and attack. Possibly Saga Time. Don't much care either
Zelda
way.
Speedruns main channel coming with the raid is 77.
Thanks for the raid! Raiding over from, I believe that was a Woodwick Randomizer Season 7 Challenge Cup Grand Finals match. Welcome in. I hope that went well. We are an hour and 12 minutes into an Creative Time Randomizer Season 8 qualifier race here with Purple Rupees, Alpha, Inc., and Tiris on Restream. The saint's been going. We ran out of patents, essentially. We've got plenty of stuff, but we're both missing plenty of stuff. And we're just basically in clear dungeon mode between our runners.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right now we have Alpha, Tiris, and Inc. doing some checks that we've seen before so far in the seed. New, though, is Ice Cavern up in purple in the top left. So we are excited to see what we find in Ice Cavern.
Absolutely.
Just as Alpha finishes Goma. Let's
all
get that
paths are more or less fulfilled. We know where Hammerlocks are cover boots, so somebody's got to go Fire Temple at some point, but it's not a priority right now.
We got a big chest back of Ice Cavern here in the first Blue Fire room, so let's see what that is up on Purple's feed right now, as Ink is in Lost Woods.
Boomerang is a decent chance of being in Shadow Temple, yeah.
Yes, these are still qualifiers. This is qualifier number 5. We don't have any brackets available yet.
We have strength 2 in Ice Cavern.
That's awesome. I love silvers.
That's good to find.
Mm-hmm. Looks like Ink is actually checking Skull Mask, which I believe, didn't we get a hint for that one, that it's dead?
Yes, Ink, the hint here was in Kokiri Forest. Just forgot to read it, I guess. Okay.
Oh, that's okay. I do it all the time.
Nah, he's routing with the rest of Lost Woods, so it's not the worst thing.
Nah, we already know there's some good stuff in Lost Woods to find.
Yep.
It's like Alpha is exiting out of CAC right now. Tiris coming out of that generic grotto in Zora's River, doing the Zora River's checks themselves. I believe Tiris is the only one done with the 20 skulls, so we're still going to be seeing the other 3 runners getting some gold Skulltula tokens as they move through dungeons, trying to get the ones least out of the way since we know 30, 40, and 50 are dead.
Yeah,
and
don't need to rush them.
Yeah.
But you don't want to get really screwed over by it, because that has happened, it will happen.
You want to be
in a lot of
on
cases,
skulls.
with Rando, especially when you've basically run out of path hints like we have, it's a matter of efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
Go to places you know are required. Purple's probably here looking for songs, I'll be honest.
I don't blame them at this
Strength
point.
2, he would not be mad to see Requiem here.
Ink picking up that bottle, having found Slingshot from Bombshoe Bowling. Let's see here. Haven't done the Ocarina memory game yet. Hopefully Ink remembers to do that before they leave, as we know magic meters on that.
Yeah, that's the one thing Ink really needs. This thing... I forget what this is, but it is... Yeah, okay, this Slingshot's not gonna
Also, shoutouts to Aver Media for the shoutouts to Hyrule Warriors Ball and Chain Silver Gauntlets. Not the best weapon in that game, but definitely my personal favorite weapon. Best is Young Link with Fierce Deity's Mask. That is an absolute banger. Twilight Midnight's good too. Ball and Chain's got swag though. Which I don't think I've seen any of our runners do gainers, unless I missed it. I love gainers. They're so good.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Moxie, if hovers are on the last chest of Iris Cavern, I have questions about what this seed's done for logic.
Yeah, because we believe that it's Hammer that's locking.
And I'm fairly sure this place isn't hammer locked.
No.
That said, this is also my first OOTR anything in a month and a half. I took a bit of a break after SGL, so a bit of a de-rest for me.
That's okay. We appreciate you having your back, and you've been doing a great job. Definitely run circles around me, multitasking, juggling all these things at once. We appreciate you being here and letting your insight.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, and we are going to finally see Fire Temple for Alpha. I fully expect we will find something in here.
I hate
It's
playing
funny
Fire
that
Temple.
that hovers are, we presume, hammer locked because fire tends to be hovers locked.
I hate
we'll
playing
see.
Fire Temple, but I love watching it cleared.
Yeah. You already know there's 2 keys in the basement loop from the hint, so I'm gonna not pay much attention to that and look at purple clearing ice cavern for the moment.
Yeah, let's get that Wolfos. Oh, we got Ink actually doing Goron Jar, so I'm gonna keep that in my corner of my eye too. I don't think anyone's done spinning pot yet.
Oh yeah, nope.
All right, so chest itself is junk. Let's see what song we get. Ooh, okay, yep, there's Requiem. Back of ice.
Yep, alright, that checks. We now have Spirit Temple access, so... yeah, might as well go clear. Not particularly a reason not to, so...
Yeah, especially since we found second strength in Ice Cavern. That actually plays in really nicely for purple.
Yeah, that really does, so that's fine. I have exactly no complaints about that. And on the other side, one benefit potentially here of Ink doing the route he did, where he ended up putting off Child's Lost Woods for so long, is he is going to do a play to Child Zora's Domain, since you might as well you're here. Which could pay off if this is a boomerang here, because a boomerang here is an infamously terrible spot everybody hates.
Oh, of course.
When it's unhindered.
And it looks like Requiem is Prelude. Which
means Sorry Song is on Prelude, and we pretty much don't care about it.
Cool. Sorry, Saria. And now we get purple going into Spirit and chat. No, Greg is not Path to Bongo Bongo. Absolutely not.
And Aranya you were thinking I was 80 for the song for Requiem. Yeah, no, there's a bit of a communication snafu. It is it's Serenade on AD, and chat noting Hank missed the magic. Uh-oh.
And Ink's doing frogs actually.
Again, makes sense while he's here.
Man, might
this
as well.
Is a check no one else has done because no one else has been here. We don't need that though.
Yep, third bow.
Okay.
Well, there we go. Now we know. Looks like we got a big chest on Volvigia Goron.
Yep. And the rest of fire is hard hammer locked. Zora Tunic is not hammer locked, so we then water's foolish anyway, so we don't care. Okay.
No. T-Rex heading into Ice Cavern, starting to do that. We know that's smart to do, given what we know from it.
Gonna follow purple into Spirit, I assume, after that.
Most likely.
Yeah, I really, really hope for Ink's sake that he gets the other magic is available somewhere, because that's gonna be a problem. He does not go Child Zora's Domain. Okay, proving me wrong.
Ink's playing some 5D chess right now. It'll come together at the end.
Okay, Spirit keys. I'm gonna be tracking that. First key on Boulder's chest, Compass chest was junk.
Alright, looks like we are starting to climb up Spirit for purple, and Alpha heading across to check bombable wall. T-Rex about to get their second strength upgrade. And we're doing the first movable mirror checks here. Got 2 checks here. First one's junk, second one's also junk.
Not too surprising, there's strength 2 for T-Rex.
It always feels good to go when you get 2 good chests off that moving mirror. They're basically free. Did Ink get the slingshot bottle? I don't... Yes, they did. They did slingshot target, but they didn't jump down to do Ocarina Memory Game.
That's a confusing one. I mean, Ocarina Memory Game's a little slow, but you're right there.
Honestly, I just think they probably forgot.
Probably. Although I don't know how, given they didn't touch any of Lost Woods, but
No. Some people really hate that minigame, I found. So maybe Ink's just a hater on Ocarina Memory Game, I don't know. But we get under the big chest from purple in the upper left from ZL in Statue Room. There's a long shot. Uh-oh. Okay. Purple's ready to go now.
Okay, that's hard hookshot locked.
Yep.
That's fine.
Another big chest in hand. And we got Fairy's Win. Useful, especially since it's AD.
Well,
Yep,
it's not
already
true
put it up.
AD, but Seed being a little stupid, yeah.
Sure.
We are continuing in fire. This place is not hammerlocked. Or not
Nope.
hovers locked. It's very hammerlocked. It's
There's
not
boss
hovers locked.
key. Okay, statue room and spirit. That's the place to be when you go to spirit. Which are all checks are all going to get on the way. So.
Yep. Yeah, this place is unmissable. This furrows us a little time on getting back here.
Purple Send Furrows Wind. Looks like they might bounce out of here and go check some other things.
Well, no, it's a medallion. He's full clearing. This is just to get back here a little quicker.
Right. They're going to go check Child Side, looks like.
Yep.
That Lizalfos with the best jump ever blocking Purple from getting the switch. That's my boy, that Lizalfos right there. Looks like we get a key in this room and a junk chest.
Yep.
Alpha doing my favorite boulder maze in the game. And by that I mean my least favorite, Fire Temple boulder maze.
And yeah, this is Purple's using furrows to avoid having to kill the Stalfos.
Smart. I'm writing this down. I'm stealing Purple's tech. That's the best way to learn Rando, everybody, to steal everyone else's strats. It's a compliment.
Skipping Sunblock Room for now because it's kind of slow and has a very good chance of being a key at this point.
Yes.
And Adult Lake is new for Ink.
Yeah, Ink going at as an adult to check like Hylia, looks like. Alpha in the fire chasing wall room. Getting a lot of new checks up on Purple and Alpha right now.
Ink interestingly choosing to not commit just yet to Fire Temple, although setting Scarecrow might be why. Once Scarecrow, well, Pierce hinted that Ink. That's why nobody's worried about that.
Iris finally finishing Ice Cavern.
I assume that is heading straight on over to Spirit shortly here as well. Big chest for Purple is Strength 3. Funny game.
Funny game. Game's so funny. I love funny game.
And Smokey is key 4, logically.
Alpha finding boss key up in Boulder Maze.
Yep.
We got Ink doing adult fishing. Let's see, those fish are biting. Come on, there you go, lock it in. Iris left Ice to get a hint out in Fountain they didn't grab, and it looks like, yeah, now they're playing Requiem.
Okay, yeah, missed it. He didn't get that hint earlier.
I didn't see that
Nothing
either.
on
It looks
hand.
like...
I have no clue what right hand is. Chat.
There is a big chest in Firewall Maze in Alpha right now. Let's see what that is. Oh, blue fire arrows.
Fire arrows. Interesting.
Which Alpha hasn't done Ice yet, so that might save them a little bit of time.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this Fire Temple and trying to work out our key layout right now.
I'm just waiting with bated breath for the hammer check that reveals something.
Well, the thing is, I'm watching because we just got the boss key and we're out of keys right now.
The only thing in fire so far, I believe, was the blue fire arrows, Moxie.
Yeah,
Alpha getting
not...
trolled by that bubble. Purple gonna go check ZL room right now. We're gonna go see what all those slugs are hoarding. Ink checking top of lab. This is boss key chest room.
And boss key chest is small, so that's junk.
Yep. Sometimes hard to see behind that fire.
You can make out a silhouette pretty easily. And our shortcut chest is a small key. Okay, we can continue. We are not key locked out of fire. This is important because of the hover, the missing hover points.
Right. Ink's doing diving right now.
This is most likely junk. It's logically behind Frogs 2, and Frogs 2 is extremely inaccessible.
Top mirror room not revealing anything interesting yet for Purple, just a heart box. So there's going to move right along. I am not
surprised. Lab dive is a junk.
Lab dive, always disappointing. We're working back through the fire. wall room. Like, we go check the other side of fire. Oh, actually getting hit by the fire bubble. Do they have a fairy on them? They do. Cool. Always good to play it safe, have fairy in the bottle.
The fairy bottle was the one off of the woods target.
Oh, I didn't even see them go back and get that. Cool. See? Safe strats paying off. All right, ink checking bottom of fire, like you mentioned earlier. We know his keys.
Yep.
Just
Just following Alpha here. Again, this all makes sense. Our runners basically on the diagonals, following each other, chasing progression.
Mm-hmm.
Fire's a stone, but we also know that there's gotta be something hammer locked for Bongo.
Mm-hmm.
And we're
Purple's resetting their furry's wind.
Yep, gonna go do some block and then come back.
Makes sense.
So either some blocks a key or there's one on child side. The long version of Spirit Key logic is long, but that's the short version for the seed right now.
It's long, but that's the short version. We have Alpha making way into Flare Dancer, top Flare Dancer. As we have Purple doing the sunblock room, as you mentioned.
I'm kind of a little lousy. I'm not the best with Fire Temple key logic, I'll admit, but I think this place might be hovers locked. Or did they skip a key? I'm not completely sure. Pierre hinted to be dead, Prof.
Mm-hmm.
And sunblock was nothing. So we have I think child side is 2 keys. Either that or right hand is a key.
Do you foresee runners going back, checking that side, cleaning it up, or they're moving on after this?
I'd probably move on, honestly.
Yeah, me too.
Especially if actually they know for sure that the Colossus right hand is just a regular small chest. I actually couldn't tell.
Yeah, I'm sure Purple peeked it early and already knows that.
Because either that is key 5 or 2 keys are on child side.
Mm-hmm. Which we have Purple doing Spirit Boss right now. Ooh, nice setup. Ink working through the room before Volvagia, getting the first big chest back there. Alpha has found... Looks like Megaton Hammer chest is no good. See, looks like Alpha might be going for Volvagia now after climbing all the way up.
Yeah, per Alpha's personal tracker, I don't think he knows that it's Serenade on AD.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, this is also just a rather rational play from this point of view.
Oh yeah, I mean, clean up already here.
Yeah.
Oh, good setup and jump by
and
Alpha.
Serenade will save a bit of time on getting back to Lake, especially as he hasn't been there yet.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Serenade's typically not required. I can never think where it is, but it's nice to have. Lake Hylia can be very out of the way.
Serenade is never required in these settings, but in Overworld Entrance Randomizer or in Warp Song Destination Randomizer, it can be.
Got it. Because again, we also know that Opponent's Song is behind Burning Cack, so it's going to be a while since for any of these runners get any speed to move around Hyrule Field, which I believe they've all done the Hyrule Field checks anyways, so Opponent might just be left in the stable.
They all have a hammer, so...
Yeah.
But, alright. Otherwise, though, I believe Wolf should be a key, though.
That makes sense.
I believe Wolf is likely a key, and if that is the case, we're looking elsewhere for this hammer path.
Yeah, this is a great question.
We do have access to Adult Gerudo Valley, though. That's a big thing with that long shot in Spirit, which is in logic.
Alright, looks like we're about to find out what's on Volvagia itself, as well as Spirit Temple Boss.
Yep.
Got
Spirit
one
Temple
cycle on Twin Robo. Yep.
But yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be the Hammerrocks or GTG Key Logic Gun Funny, is what our hammer path is for today. Hang on.
Nope, Twin Robo wasn't anything good. That gets Fire Medallion.
Yeah, it's a third medallion for purple, not too bad.
Nope.
And Volvagia is actually a hurt piece I can't count.
Yep, there you go.
At any rate, though, not it. This is, I
Nope.
think, the biggest thing to take out of that.
Like purple's probably gonna go do Desert Colossus stuff here.
That's foolish. He's going to GTG.
Oh, from Wasteland, yeah.
Which also makes sense. GTG is fairly quick, has the equipment for it, versus... And has logic for it too with that long shot now, versus let's commit to Fire Temple. Because it's pretty easy and quick to go do the outer loop of GTG around the back and check if that hammer chest is a key, and look at the maze, and then do hammer rocks before committing to the entirety of Fire Temple. Because they all have the Fire Temple dual hit from Kokiri Storm's Grotto. We all know that fire is a... Everybody knows that Fire Temple is Hammerlock, basically. If there's 2 keys in the basement loop, you know the entire place is going to be Hammerlock, basically. It's not 100%, but it might as well be.
Yeah, to answer Chat's question, though, Star, if Volvagia was junk, does that mean Pierre check was a key?
I'm not quite sure. We saw him, I believe I read Pierre was dead, but I'm honestly not completely sure, and it's also basically irrelevant.
True. Luckily, Torch's check is not anything interesting. I say luckily because that's a nasty check. Wasteland, don't want to have to go to Wasteland. Alpha going for the song, that is. Alpha's going for the Ocarina of Time check.
He doesn't know this is Serenade. At any rate, yeah, I mean, he's here.
I mean, might as well.
He is going to be a bit sad to see this is Serenade, though. But yeah, GTG, again, kind of just looking at purple as our main runner here right now, since everyone else is doing checks they've already seen.
If Megaton Hammer is on Path for Hovers, GTG might not be the worst check, considering there are hammer checks in there, right?
There is
Logically?
one hammer check in there. The one with the fire ring is the hammerlock check in there. And that can be, obviously, the hovers. Could be Boomerang leading to hovers, I think, is about the one thing that we have left that locks checks besides hover boots.
Well, I think both of those would be good.
Boomerang or hovers would both be good. It could also just be a key to go get Boomerang or hovers out of the maze.
That's true.
But we know from our perspective, oh hey, big chest on the roof, that is not our hover boots.
No, but it might be something cool.
It might be our Boomerang.
Might be our ring. All right, let's see.
Honestly, we care about the Boomerang, we care about hover boots, and I think that's actually it.
Oh yeah, our runners are already pretty stocked. They're already walking with most of what they need. Which grotto in the field was hammered? Destiny Rock of Destiny, the one outside.
Boulder Destiny, Sphere Zero, Bomb Bag. I'm bomb digging top file. Fire Temple was just full cleared by Alpha. Ink is finishing the place up, and apparently missed the Pierre hint. It's junk. At any rate, though, Hammer is Path, and the only things left for that are the Hammer Rocks and GTG.
Yep.
We've seen everything else.
Yep, looks like Purple got their membership cards and now heading up to check that big chest.
Yep. We've seen Tektite Rob, it's a bloopy.
Alpha going to Zor's River, it looks like, as
This is a ice play, so that'll send him to Spirit, which is good.
And that big chest on top of Fortress is double defense.
Okay, yawn.
Not needed, but useful. And Ink found their blue fire arrows.
Yeah, the only thing in Fire Temple was a blue fire arrows in the fire map chest, and that is completely useless, so...
Purple going into GTG, so we're going to see a lot of new checks here.
Yep. And it has to be hovers / boomerang locking hovers have to either be in here or on those hammer rocks. We've seen everything else that locks checks except for, I guess, there's the possibility of a lens. That's the only other thing.
That is true. Lens would be hilarious. I would love it for be lens.
There has to be one of those 3 things. Boomerang, lens, or hovers. And if it's boomerang or lens, they have to lock the hover boots directly, because we've seen everything else in the game.
Yep. Here comes the
chest is dead.
Center's chest is... Oh, there's a big chest. Oh, what's it going to be? Come on. Anticipation's killing me. Stopping to peek? Just open it. I need to know. That's an empty bottle?
That's not too surprising.
Darn. Alright, let's check what's up there.
Not too surprising, because that was unlikely to be hammer-locked, but it could have been.
It wouldn't have been that.
Pierre.
True.
Big Chest on Pierre is... Big Chest on Pierre cannot be our hover boots directly. Could be Boomerang or Lens, though. But if it's Lens, it doesn't matter, again. But if it's Lens, it can't lock hover, so it could be Lens on there to lock Boomerang.
Mm-hmm.
And no, the chest with that bottle was 5 key lock, because it's behind the second door.
Right.
In ceiling is... I think I'm not even... Ooh, big shit. This is, again, shouldn't be our hover boots unless they've gone bonkers, but it is a quick prescription we don't need.
GTG giving everyone's hopes up and then dashing them away twice very quickly. Doing Silver Rupee base, though. Don't need to use the Wallmaster tech since we had that long shot. GTG fake loaded? Maybe. We still got a lot of GTG to check. We know there's a lot of keys, though, but we know Toilet Room's dead, so our runners don't need to go in there.
No. And it is dead. It's not a small key, it's just straight up useless.
Yep.
But yeah, we do have a number of bait checks outstanding. We're missing our third bomb bag nobody cares about. We're missing our second magic loot, which we do care about because Ink has skipped Ocarina Memory Game and might be very screwed over by it. Third slingshot, we don't care about. Second wallet, nobody cares. Last bottle is whatever. Lens is only relevant if it's on that one hammer check, probably at this point.
Mm-hmm.
OoT is Serenade.
Yep. We see Ink
Alpha
going
for the Hail Mary AD honestly made sense, and he will not be the only person. I mean, DC and Deku are fast, and Hammer is Path.
Right.
Alpha will be one of a lot of people in the 70-person qualifier to go do 8 full AD.
They do get to water fast now, but we know from our Baron hints that water is dead. So that's not too exciting, but they do have to do water, so we'll save a bit of time.
It's not completely terrible. And again, I mean, we'll probably ultimately lose time on the qualifier to people who do GTG before fire, but you're not going to be like way behind absolutely everyone because of it, because there will be other people who do the same thing.
It looks like to be 1 key out of this room. Purple is leaving out of the like room.
And what's that? Wolfos is a small chest. So I think we're at 5 keys, so we're still missing a bunch.
Like Southfield and Valley are a pain. Yeah, I always have a hard time rounding the 2 hints at the back of Lake because they're so out of the way if you don't have Epona. So I'm always like, is it worth going for those? I guess it just depends how much info I have at that point.
Yeah.
But we have Alpha starting into ice. We have Purple poking some eyes out on the statue here. Let's see what the chest is. It is another key chest. Just going to void to get back upstairs.
Yeah, so again, we're kind of seeing a split on the diagonals. Purple and T-Ris going GTG before Fire, Ink and Alpha going Fire, then, well, Ice Spirit GTG. And our big chest
There's
here
our bomb
is
bag.
Last bomb bag.
There you go.
Purple's first, go figure. That's fine. But, yeah. Again, kind of both perfectly rational plays. You've got a hammer path, where do you go with it?
We do have a big chest in the hammer behind the hammer check, though.
That's probably your hover boots.
Yep.
It actually has to be hover boots, lens, or boomerang. There's nothing else it can be.
I wanted it to be lens so bad. Please let it be lens.
Or actually, no, it doesn't 100% have to be one of those 3. It could be hammer rocks. There's still that one check outside here. That's, I think, it.
True. And let's see what it is. Purple found lens. Yes. Yes. You're going back a child. This seat's rules. I'm glad this is the first seat I get to commentate. This is hilarious.
Yep. There's strength 2 for Alpha. But yeah, Lens has to be for treasure chest game. That
Yeah,
is
absolutely. That's the only thing logically in these settings that's required for, right?
Yep.
Yep.
So either the treasure chest game has something, or that Hammerrocks has something. It has to be one or the other. We are still clearing the rest of this because
they
we
just
can get a boomerang right there.
Yeah, purple has found boomerang, freestanding key, Guro training ground. Okay, so then treasure chest games probably hovers then, right?
Yeah, purple needs to leave GTG immediately. Purple needs to go check Hammerrocks, and if it... Oh no, purple doesn't have DINs, that's the problem. Purple doesn't know where DINs is because purple hasn't been to DC. I was gonna say purple, that's potential no mode, but it is not because purple hasn't gone to DC yet. If purple had DINs, that would be no mode.
Purple set win and left immediately though, so they have the same idea right now. They're like, okay, there's not very much left to check in here. Probably just keys or junk. I got what I needed out of here. Let's go. And if they have to come back,
which is also perfectly valid. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Hopefully, bombs push him to DC. Unfortunately, boomerang just opens up all of opens up all of Jabu, which is going to send him away from DC.
Heroes just got their boomerang.
Was hoping it wasn't AD and skip DC. Also, not a bad play to be clear. It just might end up blowing up in his face a little bit. Pardon the pun. And I realized that who's it? Tierce has done the same thing. He doesn't have DINs either.
No.
So our first two runners to Boomerang and Lens are also our first two are also the two runners without DINs. Our two runners with DINs don't have a lens. Don't have a lens. So this is fun. But I assume somebody has to stumble across the right order of all of this to avoid Fire Temple, hopefully.
Yep. Purple checking hit in front of Waterfall, which we already... Yep. And then checking Waterfall, which we know is Gore on this tunic back here, which Purple already bought one. So...
Yep.
But good to not forget it. Alpha finishing up the White Wolfos right now. Yep. So they are going to get Requiem.
And chat does point out, yes, Lens can be logically required to cross the Wasteland, and this seed is a moot point because Longshot was in Spirit Temple. Purple doesn't really need that tunic. But yeah, it's go clear dungeons for the moment for Purple. Has water and Jabu to clear, so might as well go do it.
That's a good mode to be in, though. Clearing dungeons is definitely great rather than last checking Hyrule, you know?
Yeah, so yeah, he's gonna go water here because he's already on the way here. He doesn't have Serenade, so you might as well clear it. And he's gonna go Child clear Jabu and go turn in the Lens game for. I'm pretty sure that has got to be Hover Boots there at this point. Yeah. Yeah, Restream is in no mode. Hover Boots have to be on the Lens game. That's it.
Well, while runners do checks that we've seen a little bit here. We are almost 2 hours into this run, hitting the 1 hour and 45 minute mark, but we would like to thank you all for being here on ZeldaSpeedRuns' second channel. Thanks for the hosting of the restream, which Star is our restreamer, co-commentating with me here. We'd like to thank our trackers again, Carliana, Veva, Mr. Moxie, and Warren Traveler. Thank you very much. You're doing excellent. We'd also like to thank our runners for allowing us to share their runs on this restream with us. Purple, Rupees, Alpha, Ink, and T-Riz. Please make sure you go follow them if you want to see more randomizer goodness. These are all excellent runners, especially if you're new and starting out. They have a lot of stuff to teach you, obviously, like me. I'm seeing really good Pharaoh's Wind used. So.
Yeah, and point from chat too, yes. Thank you, Kella. One thing that is nice about Shadow being the one thing our T-Riz and Purple can't do is that they can't get stuck faded by Ganon's Castle.
Good point.
Checking the Lens game will also confirm the hammer path, so they should hopefully go DC before fire, since there's nothing there's no guarantee of fire having anything. So I imagine they turn in Lens game with Jabu, since that will be accessible to both.
Purple is in Water Temple, immediately going to the bottom, going down to Ruto's room, it looks like.
Yep. Is missing multiple items. When you're missing items and you're not in go mode, this can be you want to go for the place with more checks first, generally.
Sure.
Purple has admittedly a little lost track of hit prioritization logic, because with Water Temple having our path to Irons being path, that means that nothing in here can lock Shadow Temple, but he doesn't know that. Although he also doesn't know it isn't Song of Time for path, and that Irons are not, in fact, the hinted item, so it could go either way.
Yeah, we got a Water Temple Baron, though, so how does that work with the path hint.
Oh
Then.
yeah, he just. In which case, no. Which case, War Temple just has nothing, and he's just going here because yeah, it's kind of a split. Some people go here first, some people don't. And I forgot the path. And I forgot the foolish hint. Whoops.
All right, we're going on 2 hours. This is when the paths in our minds start straying a little bit, which we do have Ink going into Zora's River as adult checking that. Tira's still working on GTG there, and Alpha going through Spirits. All our runners just going at full speed right now, just hunting for those items. Tiras really wants to see what this big chest in the GTG key maze is.
I mean, makes sense.
Mm-hmm. You know, 3rd bombs isn't bad, and an extra bottle's never bad.
Alright, I think, well, ordinarily I'd do a bet or a prediction or something, except restream's in no mode. What I am going to do a prediction on is, what do you think will our first finish time be?
Well, that's a good question, because
Not on restream, just in general, because there's 70 people in this race, and I have to imagine somebody's managed to skip, and I have to imagine somebody has skipped Fire Temple and done DC. Given where Purple and Tiras are at, I think I'd be surprised if anyone sub 2s. There's a bit too much left in the seed, especially because Shadow's pretty long.
I agree. I think sub 2 would be a stretch, but I could see sub 230.
Oh, there should absolutely be a sub 230. If there's 70 people in this race, somebody has to have done DC and skipped Fire Temple.
Somebody threaded the needle.
Like, when it's just a matter of the odds. Like, somebody, like, even just between the 4 runners on Restream, we've seen wildly divergent routes. Never mind the 66 people off Restream. There's going to be somebody has to have found. There's the odds are somebody has found the route. Like, it's not that horrendously It's not that horrendously obtuse.
No. Yeah, you're right.
Like, I get why all of the runners have routed the way they have, but it's also entirely possible that someone else did DC and skipped Fire Temple. Because Fire is slow, DC is quick, and Ice Cavern was not a stupid play.
No. Ice Cavern, when it pays off, it pays off. Alpha finding their long shot in Spirit Temple now, as we get Purple raising the water, likely making a play for Morpha at this point. See T-Risk going down to check Rudo room as well, or no? Hallway above, alright.
Alright, here's a prediction. I might have slightly goofed the math, but have fun, chat. When's our first finish time?
Predictions open, chat, get it.
Like, I think someone's like... I don't think someone's sub 210 this, probably, but I do think should be a sub 220 first finish time, but...
Yeah, that'd be pretty tight. Alright, we have Purple heading into Morpha fight, getting ready to put the ball in the corner.
And I apparently can't grammar on the prediction. Anyhow, it's fine.
That's okay.
Now, please keep in mind, do not actually spoil what other people in the race are doing. We will announce finishes when they come in.
Yeah, thank you very much for that reminder. Alpha going into Iron Knuckle fight, adult side, I believe.
That is correct.
I always got to remember the room layout. It just flips. Purple finishing off Morpha. Very good quick kill on Morpha right there. So we're going to see what Morpha gives. Should be nothing if it interests, given our hint.
Yeah, this should be pretty junk. Might be like a double magic or something.
Double magic would be not junk, I think. It'd be cool.
It'd be good for ink.
Oh yeah, definitely great for ink if that's the case.
Because unfortunately, that's Ink's biggest problem is the magic meter. Like, everything else is fine. Honestly, the state has not otherwise been completely terrible.
No.
Boomerang's fine, hovers you're going to run across. I mean, you feel bad about GTG, but also you feel there's going to be people who feel bad about Fire Temple, but you also know that you're not going to be the only person.
Morpha left its car keys on the ground.
Yeah. Like, you know you're not going to be a first finisher when you see Flare was a bust, but you're also not going to be, like, dead last or anything for it.
No, it looks like Sun was a piece of heart.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
No. Looks like Purple's going to go over and do adult fishing, but go on.
Yeah, again, makes sense. There's not really much as a restream we know that can be on anything we haven't seen.
T-Risk finding their boss key, though.
Yep.
So it looks like they will head in. Yep, they're going to save warp, get back to the top, go straight to Morpha.
Yeah, again, Tiris and Purple are just shorted ins, and I have to imagine they get to they have to get to DC before Fire Temple at this point. Alpha is I assume Alpha goes GTG after this, and that should put him on the route to Go mode basically. Ink is really short the magic meter, unfortunately, is the problem.
They got second strength.
Ink is on the same route as Ink is on the same route as Alpha otherwise. Ink and Alpha are routing pretty much similarly, with the Ink a little behind. Purple and T-Risk routing about the same at the moment. They had wildly divergent early games, but here in the mid-late game, we've got two big routes on Restream. One pair of runners who did fire and one pair of runners who skipped it.
And for those who weren't here earlier, T-Risk's earlier play was basically clearing out almost as much as Childs they could get, and there's Purple getting another wallet upgrade. The other runners went adult quite a bit earlier than T-Risk did. T-Risk looks like they're going to go raise the water level to go to Morpha.
And kind of despite everything, it kind of has evened out to where we just have two pairs of runners doing basically the same endgame route.
Yeah, it's really great. It's great to see because you get a little bit of variety on both sides. You get to see different mentalities. We also do have a little bit of worry here over Ink, seeing if they're going to find their second magic meter or if they're going to remember to go back to Lost Woods to do Ocarina Memory Game. So we'll be very excited to see how that develops. It looks like Purple is putting Ruto's letter on, going to Child, putting Boomerang on. So I think they're going to do a chess mini game, and then they're going to head off to Zora's Fountain to do Jabu.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep. There comes the Sun Song.
Yep.
T-Risk on Morpha.
I think, yeah, yep, a nice fight there for T-Risk.
Yeah, get your minigame guesses in. L's are left.
Oh, yeah.
R's are right. Where are the small keys? Raffle.
First one is left.
Left, right.
I think that leaves everyone but new IT guy out.
No, it's Golden and new IT. Number
no,
3,
left.
left.
Right. Oh yeah, left. Golden said, yeah. Nope. Yeah. Golden's out as well.
Yeah, IT still on it. IT guy might have just read the tea leaves. Oh, one more chest, new IT.
4 for 4.
Is it right? New IT didn't need Lens of Truth. IT guy would have gotten it immediately. Lens of Truth is you didn't need it.
And okay, we have gone crazy. That's hovers. Yep, that checks.
Hey, good job. Thank you for keeping track of all that logic and hints. Without you, I don't think I would have come to that conclusion myself. Wow, thank you.
GTG hammer logic, everyone. It's actually not the most common thing to see at one chest, but it comes up sometimes like this.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that good luck, by the way, new IT guy, by gifting a tier 1 sub to ZSR2.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, off the Jabu for Purple. Twitter was down for Alpha.
Ain't going immediately.
For Ink, yeah, I mean, makes sense. I'm pretty sure everyone rushes Spirit after Ice.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's a good one to rush, given that statue room.
Absolutely.
You get your long shot out of there, boss key.
Yep. I mean, again, kind of, I feel like kind of the way you're around it is you clear Child, it's like, it's more or less a matter of efficiency and hopefully skipping Fire Temple, I think, are the big things. Like, other than Fire Temple, you kind of end up needing to go everywhere.
Right.
Deku's technically skippable, so there's possible someone skipped that, although it's a little hard given how much was open this scene, how it did smell like AD for a hot minute. Like you had to go to the well, you had to go to ice, you had to go to GTG. If you had to go to at least part of DC, and honestly, with early explosives, it was a pretty strong play to begin with. Again, you're not going to be the happiest with a completely useless player, but you also know there's going to be a lot of other people who do the same thing.
Right. I don't think anyone's really getting much time unless they just do the wild thing of like, hey, I'll just skip fire. Which,
Yeah.
given the hint distribution and what we know, I think clearing fire that wasn't a bad idea. Like to your point.
Yeah, no, it seemed reasonable. It didn't end up working out, but that's rando for you.
Yeah.
But I think there's probably someone out of the 70 people in this race who did DC, skipped fire, went ice, and hit the route to go mode, basically.
Mm-hmm. And a qualifier, I would probably just go do fire anyways. Maybe once you get tournament brackets, doing riskier plays, make the big gains.
Yeah. Again, you don't have to be first. You just need to not be super behind.
Exactly.
And you know you're not going to be you're not going to, from a Baron fire, you're not going to be first, but you're also probably not going to be like way behind the pack because there's going to be other people doing the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm. To chat's point, yeah, some of these runners still don't have dins, so going into fire doesn't look bad, especially since fire has a lot of checks outside those keys.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like fire made perfect sense.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have
like,
purple.
There's an argument to be made for leaving fire behind, and there's an argument to be made for going in there.
Right. All right, so we're inside Jabu Jabu's belly finally. Purple has that boomerang, so they have free reign of the plays.
Yep. Again, from our side, kind of just a stormfest at the moment as we watch our runners clear the seed and wait for someone to finish.
Yeah, it's a good time. We're seeing new stuff on purple, at least. As we discussed earlier, Jabu's not really rich with checks, but it'll be interesting to see what's in here, especially since there's not much left to find.
I was going to say, the thing is, there's not much left to find, so it's...
Yes, purple might just not be checking much at this point, huh?
Well, purple's still missing Dins, unfortunately, and from his perspective, Dins can be anywhere.
Right. Ink finally in statue room, getting their long shot, boss key, and wind, if I remember correctly on that last one. Oh, but they don't have magic. They can't ignite the torches.
Nope. Has a bow, so could if he really felt like it do some stupid strats, but we'll see. The stupid strats for this room involve pushing Yarbo's statue up the stairs.
Yeah, that's pretty slow. I don't foresee them going out of their way for this one. Bow crap, let's go.
I mean, there's an argument to be made, given he has no clue where his boomerang is, and doesn't have a strong reason to go child right now.
That's true.
He's gonna go clear the other checks of Spirit first, though, to be clear, but he might do that. And I believe this version of Rando did add fast armors push. It's a little less low, but it still makes me crack up every time I see it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's good to strat to have in your pocket, but you don't want to have to do it.
No. And here is following purple into ice Jabu, and Alpha's arriving on Water Temple.
All right, we come up to the first stinger, up in purple stream there. Alpha with a very fast kill on Morpha. That was very clean.
Mm-hmm. I realized something. Because Alpha did do full AD, the only one of our runners to do so, and has Serenade, he's skipped GTG for the moment. Hopefully he goes there soon.
Yes.
As we know, that's his path to go mode. And he should know, and he should go there at any rate, to be fair, because he knows that his Hammer's path, and it has to be Hammer Rocks or GTG, because we've seen everything else behind a Hammer.
Right. I don't think bow crap is cursed. But if you've lost every seed that you've done bow crap on, I have to wonder what bow stuff you're doing. All right, but we have, let's see, your purple coming out of Stinger Room. Tigris working Rudo up to the top. Ink finding their third strength right there in Spirit. Alpha checking the sun.
We know Strength 3 is a snooze today. Yeah, I imagine Alpha is off to go to GTG, is gonna walk out a lake probably, and just go a long shot across the bridge, do hammer rocks on the way, and that'll put Alpha on. Alpha might be our first runner in functional go mode, honestly.
Oh, okay.
Because he's the one with Dins. He just needs a magic, and he needs Lens and Boomerang, and he should get out of GTG with those items.
That's true. They just have to go back to GTG.
And he's going GTG because he knows Hammer is path, and he's done everything else Hammer locked.
Yeah, good point. We see Purple doing the second stinger. Iris getting the first stinger. Took me a very long time to learn what these things are called.
These are the stingers. It's the stingrays in the purple boomerang chest room. These I'm not actually sure what they're officially called. I just call them tentacles. OoT enemy names are kind of silly anyway. Like the little arm things that stick out of the ground, like the blue claws, something jigs. Those are tail passaran.
Parasitic tentacles. There you go. Thank you, NUIT guy with the floor drop. I always thought they were stingers.
No, the stingers are in the boomerang room are the little stingray things that fly around.
Why did they just call them rays?
It looks like the scene where everyone is convinced they're losing. You're not wrong, admittedly, Segway. Basically, well, our forerunners had wildly divergent early game rounds, but we've kind of condensed here in the end game to two things. On the diagonals, Purple and T-Risk skipped DC and Fire Temple, rushed Ice Cavern, and are missing Dins because of it from DC, basically. Alpha and Ink, on the other hand, did DC, but also did Fire Temple, and so are a bit behind on Medallion progression because of that. Is more or less what it's currently boiling down to.
You don't have no bubbles, but shabombs, that's true.
Yes, because that also makes sense.
At least the name's funny. It doesn't make sense, but it's funny. So it gets funny points. Alpha peaked, I think Crate, but we already know that's Pizza Heart. We got Big Octo coming up on Purple.
And that answers a question about boost stuff for Ink. He is not doing it. Fair enough.
Nope. He's just out of here playing Requiem.
Yep. And yeah, so our path in today, Hyrule Field was path to Bongo for a hammer to get your lens to get your hover boots. Lens was on that one hammer lock check in GTG. Like, this is the one seed where that's actually relevant. It's not terribly common for that to come up, but it did here. Cactus path to Morpha for Iron Boots. It is not for Song of Time. I forgot to update that. Kratos' path to Morova for Chimera Shields. SFM's path to Phantom Ganon for Song of Storms to a hookshot. And DMT's path to Evil's Bane because light arrows are there.
Ink checking Desert Colossus Fairy. Getting that sweet, huge rupee.
Ink forgetting his full issues again.
Oh, that's okay. Gives us more watch.
Lost, but oops.
Yeah, oops. Looks like they're going to Wasteland anyways. So it was on the way. No, huge deal.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm getting more and more concerned about this double magic because we're pretty much, unless it's on like Baronade, I think we're almost out of places it could be that aren't.
I'm going to say
accessible for Ink.
It's back shadow. It's going to be really mean. It's going to be in some really mean spot.
It most likely is in back of Shadow or. It is most likely to be back of Shadow Temple or in Ganon's at this point. We've seen most of the game otherwise.
Right.
And unfortunately, for those who don't know, Ink skipped Ocarina of Memory game.
Which had
we said that earlier how T-Risk cleared full clear shot as much as possible. Ink did the exact opposite, basically. Was our last runner to clear Hyrule Field. Skipped Lost Woods Kokiri early and went back later with the slingshot, among other things. And unfortunately, did the Woods target for the slingshot. Did Lost Woods Bridge Cup for a bow. Did not do Ocarina of Memory game for a magic meter, which at this point is looking like the only available magic in the game unless Baronade has the other one.
Yep, which we're about to find out what is on Baronade as Alpha starts GTG, so Alpha's going to find some good stuff in there.
New IT Game in chat says Ink doesn't ever do Ocarina of Memory game. Well, this might be the scene where you start doing that. I'm sorry, Ink, but
some people really hate Ocarina minigame. I don't know how it hurt them, but it's even shorter than the randomizer. You only have to do 3.
Yeah, because at this point, there's just absolutely no reason at all for Ink to go back there. And
Yeah,
it's
they checked everything
really
else, I believe, in
awful
Lost
check.
Woods.
They did. They even had a slingshot for it. So, and even checked the slingshot targets. So
I know.
that's
the funniest part.
just
Right
the
there.
part that makes it all the more painful is that he was right there. And well, here we are.
Okay,
An
we
hour
all
and a
do
half
that
later.
sometimes. Which we just actually
Barrenade's
passed
down for purple.
2 hours. Everyone shouts at 2 hours. Everyone hydrate.
Happy 2 hours, everyone. And Baronade has for us. Jeez. Alright.
Shoes are nice.
It's not a magic though, that's the unfortunate part for Ink.
No.
I'm not surprised, but it is unfortunate.
Yeah, beating Jabu puts you near Lost Woods, but I don't see why Ink would go back into Lost Woods other than that they remembered that they didn't do Ocarina minigame.
And that's one lonely check.
Very lonely, not very fast. Yeah, we agree, IT. It's probably in Shadow somewhere, second magic, which is pretty brutal.
Shadow or Ganon's. I think the Runia is outstanding because Jabu's are Forest Med and Sarius is on Prelude, but man, it's just... There's Burning Cacasol with Eponas, but it's just very, very few spots that are left that are not magic locked at this point.
Mm-hmm.
They're all very terrible too, unfortunately. Like, Darunia is not great. HBA is not great.
Oh yeah. I'm the worst at horseback archery. I can never get the second score. It takes me like 4 tries. I have to lean on jars.
Purple never did do down pay digging because the GTG bomb bag was Purple's first, which that's fine.
Okay, fill them up. Top off your bomb count here.
Yeah, this could be worse.
Ink actually
doing
just
a
now
quick
in
cleanup.
GTG, like you thought. So they're going to start looking there. T-Risk just finishing off Baronade, Alpha getting through the back of GTG near Silver Block.
Yeah, Rob saying Alpha not taking the fastest route to the one hammer check, but it's not unreasonable. Yeah, I mean, he's missing a hammer. He's missing a boomerang. This is perfectly sane.
Yeah,
Just
no, it
clear
makes
it
sense.
as efficiently as possible.
It's
It
also
just
easy
so
to form-
happens that boomerang's on right side, but he doesn't know that.
Yeah, it's also easy to form habits. I usually go left going into GTG, but, if I have hovers, and especially hovers and Song of Time, going right's not looking too bad.
Okay,
But
Blur
Alpha
for
is
purple.
missing hover
Here's the
still.
question: DC versus Fire. Purple, which one are you going to? Okay, good. It's not Fire Temple.
Not Fire, going straight to DC.
Again, DC is the faster of the two plays, and we'll pit Purple and Go mode. And it's Compass Chest too, so Purple will be in... Purple hit that in a couple of minutes. Shadow's about 15 minutes. Ganon's another 7 or so. This will be a little over a 2:30 for Purple final finish time.
All right. Ink just got their boomerang.
Okay.
The jars are a
Alpha's
trap.
on his route as well.
I think the real story is I need to practice HBA, but how many times do you actually have to go to HBA when I could practice other things?
But yeah, DC for Purple, who is... Yeah, Purple should be a little over a 2:30. Somewhere around the 2:33 to 2:35, I want to say, will be final finish time.
Okay, how about Alpha? Because you said they were in a pretty good position.
Alpha has to do Jabu, which is the thing that adds a bunch of time to that. Gonna be more in the 2:40 to 2:45, I want to say, for Alpha.
Okay.
Tiris is probably going to be something in that range as well, because they're a little bit behind Purple. And Ink, I unfortunately really don't know, because of that magic.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
T-Risk got Epona song. So just filling out those songs, because it's going through CAC anyways. But yeah, unless Ink has a brain blast and goes back to Lost Woods for that Ocarina memory game, might be a while.
Yeah. I hate to be that person on comms to make a call the runner is screwed, but Ink might be screwed.
I don't think they're screwed. They might have remembered it, and they just could have gone, "Oh, that's."
Which is why I'm saying might. I don't want to say absolutes, but they might be screwed.
Ink's a really strong racer, So I have faith.
The other thing is, unfortunately, the more time they spend, the more time they lose without this magic.
Sure.
Alright, though. 210 and change, purples in go mode. Alpha is not far behind.
Purple's just going into shadow now. So we're going to see a lot of new stuff here very quickly.
I'm actually not certain why Alpha is still going. Has picked up Boomerang and that lens. Should know there's nothing else left in here for him. Not a huge time loss, but I'm not sure what he's looking for.
Just being safe, maybe.
Yeah, maybe not 100% sure on the hammer path, but
they're leaving now after that check. So they're playing Prelude.
Okay, just the safety to make sure he didn't scoop something, which fair enough. Yeah, but this is, he's going to go do Lens Game, he's going to go beat Jabu, and that's going to be go mode for him. But again, basically is a Jabu and change behind purples. So, yeah.
No, I agree. I think if magic is not in shadow, then it's in some nasty place. Like
it's shadow or Ganons are the likely places for this magic meter. Inks, because about the only not magic lock checks we haven't seen are Darunia and HBA, and those really aren't great checks either, unfortunately, is the problem.
Right.
Like, even if it's available, or that ink goes back to how to create a memory game, which is not impossible. I've seen it. I've seen a lot of situations like this, either intentional skips or brain farts. Chat says this might be an intentional skip, but it remains a bit of a painful one. And just because you remember doesn't mean it necessarily saves you.
No. T-Riss actually going for Fire Temple.
Oh, T-Riss. This makes sense. It just feels bad.
I'm sure they don't feel that much
it's DC versus Fire. It's just a move.
Yep.
Oxypanda, Lens Game is Hover Boots. Hammer is Path to Bongo, and the only thing behind a hammer was this lens.
And then
Alpha is going to be in go is functionally in go mode. He is going to be in actual I have everything in my inventory go mode in about a minute.
Yep.
And he knows his hover boots are here.
Oh yeah. Sticking with the hints, this is it. Alpha's already checked everything else.
Walter's foolish, Rob. Spirit is not... Spirit, I don't believe, is key-locked or magic-locked.
No.
But yeah. Oh, hey, speaking of first finish, we were talking about finish times earlier. GG's to Seize, 2:13:29.
There you go. You had a good guess then on when the first person would finish.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think it'll be a sub 2:10, but sub 2:15 is not bad.
No.
And there is your prediction resolution.
We're getting keys here in Shadow. We don't expect to find anything exciting in Shadow other than maybe Second Magic.
Second Magic's about the only thing remotely interesting we could find in here, yeah.
Yep.
It is. I think we saw Sunblock. I'm not 100% sure. Map chest was the boss key in Spirit. But
Sunblock chest was junk. Yeah.
Yeah. Spirit's not magic block. In other words.
And then we knew the hands were both junk.
Okay. Yep. And we do have another finish. Alexis finishing second, 2:14:40. GG's. Eng is out of GTG. He's off to go check Hammer Rocks and go Water Temple. Yep. T-Riss, I was thinking would be some finish time to Alpha if he went to GDC like Purple did. With this Fire Dig, I think it's going to be closer to the 3-hour mark for T-Riss.
Yep.
And
Volk finished.
GG's to Volk, 2:15:12. Again, I think these are like the people... Given you know where T-Riss and Alpha are at, these are the people who skipped Fire and went DC faster.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think is honestly what that comes down to, is they skipped Fire and went DC faster than this.
Yep, you're right on the ink going to water. Looks like they're checking back of waterfall, and then like they just take the river down Lake Hylia. And Alpha working through Jabu, Purple getting through Shadow here as they're going into Spike Room, looking for that boss key more than anything. And it looks like in Spike Trap Room there is a big chest in here, which Purple looked at it and then walked away from it, not even opening it. That might be the magic, though.
It might be, yeah.
Opening on that boss key, though. Purple leaving us hanging. We'll never know what was in that box. I'm sure another
There's
runner
not a
will
lot it
peek
could
it.
be. It's double magic,
No.
third slingshot, last bottle. I think that we might have missed this paperweight or something. That's about it.
Yeah.
And apparently there's a big chest on Dead Hand. So yeah, there's a very real chance that was double magic on one of these chests. There's just very little left else besides that for big chests.
Yeah, second magic being magic locked is pretty mean.
It's pretty common. It is a running joke that double magic's always in shadow. It just isn't. Ouch. Unfortunately for Ink, and fortunately for everyone else, I don't think there's going to be a lot of people who get stuck in the same way.
No.
Most people are doing Ocarina of Time game. Ink is, unfortunately, just going to get a bit hit.
Yep, Ink checking those 10 and 20 skulls, it looks like right now, which we know are both junk.
Yeah. Again, perfectly reasonable plays. He's kind of in a bit of an awkward spot right now. He can beat Water, but it's foolish. He can't do anything in Shadow. He doesn't. He's reluctant to go back to. He's gonna, I think, now go Child for Jabu and Child Spirit, so he can finish that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Ink's just kind of in a bit of an awkward spot, unfortunately.
Yeah, Purple using good use of Fair's Wind there to get back. Reduce some backtracking there. Coming into the wind tunnel. All the forfeits coming in. Might be people who skipped Ocarina Memory Game.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if some of these people are ones who did fire and are like,
They're like, okay, screw it.
Because you see the 215 to 213, 215, these sub 220s, and you're like, yeah, that's probably not it.
Yeah. Oh, Exodus, though, finishing fourth.
Yeah, or don't want to have the cloud count also. Yeah, that's possible. Exodus finishing fourth to 1910. As a reminder for how this works, you can do up to 8 qualifiers. Your first 8 qualifiers count towards this point calculation. Your best score and your worst 3 are dropped.
Because you have to log at least 5 non-zeros, correct?
Yes. Top 32 finishers after drops move on to the main tournament, the next 64, so 33rd through 96th move on to the Challenge Cup. If you have questions, please feel free to ask. I am one of the Challenge Cup organizers and know a decent bit about the main tournament myself.
Alright, we got Purple heading out to Boat. It's going to take a boat, right? And we got Ink actually going back for Ocarina Memory Game right now. That's awesome. There it is. Finding magic, pausing on it, probably going like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah. He did at least go back. Credit to him, he did go back.
Yep.
But that's an ouch.
Thank you, Ink.
Yeah. Yeah, that feels bad. Oh yeah, Challenge Cup's going to be a really solid one this season. Should be fun.
These are fun settings. Cool hints. Obviously, it's making our runners think and do a lot of different stuff.
Absolutely, and I honestly can't fault Anchor over this one. He's decided to throw in the towel.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. It's pretty demoralizing doing as much as you did and then being like, I just missed this one easy check that he was right next to. Because again, everybody, he went back for slingshot target check, but didn't drop down for the memory game. So that is pretty demoralizing. But Ink's a very strong racer. I'm sure we'll see them again in future qualifiers. Just nailing
absolutely. This was Ink's first qualifier, so there's plenty more chances to drop this.
And as a reminder, this is qualifier number 5 out of 20, so plenty of chances still to get those 8 runs in. And we have Purple dropping Shadow Bridge in the back, and we have Alpha on Baronade. T-Risk still working through Fire.
Yeah. And Gigi's as well, I'm not sure where we were at with finishers, but Gigi's the Hyper, 5th place, 2:20.43.
Yeah, these are really good times, given how easy to get tripped up in the seat, as we're saying.
Yeah, I think we're going to see, like, Purple we're seeing some of these early finishers who I expect probably managed to skip, Fire Temple and what have you. Maybe managed to, depending, probably there's going to be some variance in overworld routing and what have you. All
right, Alpha finishing Baronade there. Purple working on Bongo.
Where's my brain at? But yeah, I expect, there's Purple's going to be probably part of a big wave of people who didn't quite manage to find the absolute best route, but found a reasonably decent one.
Oh, thank you for the raid, Hyper Obsession. Welcome, Raiders.
Yep.
Excellent,
Hyper,
excellent run.
5th place finisher, GG's.
GG's. How'd you feel about the seed, Hyper, if you're there? Let's see. What's Bongo giving us? He's a heart.
Half heart piece.
Downgrade from container. Play without logical bombs. Wow. 220 is really great then without logical bombs. And there we got Purple with Gan's Key. Where were they? Graveyard Crate, Dampe tour minigame, and then the last bomb bag within GTG training grounds in the center key maze room to the left. I think it's like the second. No, it's like the 3rd or 4th door or something.
Couple doors in, yeah.
Yeah. Because second door was bottle. Yep. Yeah, that crate was a bomb bag.
Yep. So I did check with Ink, by the way. He will not be interviewing, understandably. Wished him luck and with his other calls. His only comment for restream is that he would have done all of Fire Before Treasure Chest minigame anyways if he found magically because his co-op team is no treasure chest game. Sure.
We appreciate your words, Hank. Thank you very much for giving us something to share.
Yeah, and GG's does a cola 6th place 23:58.
Oh, brutal.
And I'm sorry, Hyper.
You still killed it, Hyper, given you missed all the logical bags. That's awesome.
I mean, there was plenty of chew, so it wasn't terrible.
True. There were some nice chew drops. You peeked it twice. Sometimes bomb bag from the bottom just looks like it can look like a lot of things, so I don't blame you.
Yeah, I mean, a bomb bag is round and brown, so on the bottom, so fair enough. I've done the same thing.
Oh yeah, it's really easy to do. Marco finishing in 7th with 2:24.58. Still these sub 230s coming in. So your guess on Purple's like 2:31.32, something like that?
Yeah, something in that range.
Yeah.
And again, Alpha's not like horrendously behind. Big difference.
No, Alpha's
basically
very close.
Is Alpha beat Fire Temple.
Yes, T-Risk is the one who we're looking to see probably closer to 3 hours at this point, since they went through Fire and have not gotten DC yet.
Yep. Actually, Tyrus is the one of our runners who has basically ended up with the World Tour.
Yep. Clearing all that early as child was actually a pretty good call by them. They've just been having a harder late game here.
Yeah. Like DC versus Fire, it's just a take your pick. Like DC's faster, but Hammer was Path. You know it's for the lens, but hey, it might have been Path for something else too.
Yeah, sure.
And I think when Tyrus came in here, I don't think we'd seen a finisher yet, or like it was about that. So
yeah, I think we saw a finisher. We saw a finisher in like second, third room of Fire, moving block room.
Yeah, so like might have been a spot of metagaming that no one's finished yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're here already, so.
So Hyper, you basically fur cleared Child 1 because you couldn't get into market for your Fulgence. Hey, well, full clearing Child wasn't that bad of a call this seed, it seemed.
No, as long as you don't then do the Fire Temple, because Tyrus was in a reasonably okay spot until this Fire Temple happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tyrus was right behind Alpha, it felt like.
Yeah, he was. I remember mentioning that they would have been close in finish times, but not quite, unfortunately. But well, that's how it goes sometimes.
All right, everybody, Purple's going and play tennis. Let's see if his racket's warmed up. Oh, with the bottle swag too.
Mm-hmm. JG's to Marco as well was 7th, 224.58. Purple could be a little bit behind that. Marco, it looks like, checking the standings, got a 959 on points. I think it's top 7. It sets the hard time. Someone in chat can correct me if I'm wrong. But it should be probably about 900 points here, I think, for Purple, which is not bad.
So Tyrus finished Fire and then immediately played Nocturne. Interesting.
I'm not quite sure.
I know. I'm surprised they haven't gone DC. Or maybe they're taking the other way from DC. They want to come up the front.
Possible. I think the other way's faster, but either works.
Mm-hmm. So I believe they already checked their 10 and 20 skulls, so they're not going for Skull House. Oh, they going to Field?
Oh no, Tyrus is not going to DC. Oh dear, okay. Tyrus, where are you going?
We'll find out soon enough. Purple coming up to the final Ganon fight, though. So we'll be seeing time here in a few moments.
Oh, there was our last bottle in Shadow.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Now, Tyrus is clearing big pose. I mean, fair enough, it is a fairly quick check.
Yeah, why not?
And from Tyrus's perspective, this distance could be absolutely anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Which in these settings, it's only one big po, correct?
It is.
Yep.
Yeah, I think this is gonna snag a big po somewhere on the way to HBA, it looks like.
Oh, okay.
Actually, no, Big Pose is dead, actually. Whip, so it's just HBA. Right.
Oh, got that hint. Okay. HBA then.
So I was like, whoop-de-doo. Alright, we're going to be GG's here to Purple in short order. Actually, my math is mildly wrong. We'll just about sub 230 here.
Ooh. Coming in sub 230 in this seed's very impressive.
Honestly, yeah, pretty solid time. And there we are, GG's to Purples, 8th place, 229.46.
Wow, GG's Purple. Very strong run. So what we have left now is we have Alpha clearing Shadow, which they're basically in go mode, and Tyrus is still looking for Dins.
Yep. And we are joined by Purple Rupees here. First place restreamer finishers, 8th place overall, GG.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I just decided, I'm gonna have some fun. I'm just gonna rush the well. I don't have very many items. And
Give me a second while I adjust your audio. You're a little quiet, Purple.
Well, rushing well, like you mentioned, was a good strategy in this seed, obviously.
Yeah. I'm thinking the people who finished even significantly faster just didn't do Deku.
We theorize
Quite
they just didn't do
possible.
fire.
Didn't do
Yeah.
didn't do fire, didn't do Deku, likely, yeah. And possible just like other little efficiency things. It's hard to pin down specific things.
Yeah, I know. I understand how you get like a 220. It's mostly the top 3 finishes that I'm like, wow, you can do that.
Yeah, they just threaded the needle getting through it, and they just made the right decisions. But this seed, we watched all 4 of you take very different routes, especially in the beginning and mid game. T-Risk like basically full cleared child before going adult, and then Ink went like adult immediately. So very different takes.
Yeah, and that kind of came back to bite Ink in the butt a bit, because apparently for even informed per chat that Ink really hates Ocarina of Memory game.
Oh no.
Congratulations on Pyrrha finishing 9th, by the way, with 230.56, and welcome Raiders.
Thank you, Fire, for the raid. But yeah, Ink didn't do Child Lost Woods Goron's, the Lost Kokiri first trip through, really. Went back for it after getting Adult 1, did everything but the Magic Meter, and then basically last location that, and that was the forfeit.
Huh.
It just feels bad.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like with how many items you get early, I feel like there's a lot of ways you can play this. It's like, assuming some people just did fire right away, or like really early. But
yeah, so that's kind of... Despite the wildly divergent early routes between the 4 of you, the 4 of you did kind of settle on the diagonals, actually, as it worked out, on kind of 2 main routes, like once you got past Forest Temple, essentially. Like, all of you ended up doing Deku, all of you ended up doing Forest, and then you and T-Risk, essentially, went iced into Spirit, into GTG to Water, Jabu plus hovers, and then just, you're done.
Yeah.
And then you got DC after that, and you were done. T-Risk is on a bit of a goose hunt at the moment, wild goose chase in the moment. Alpha and Ink, after Forest, Deku, all that, went fire into Ice, Spirit, and so on.
Yeah. I can see, like, I'm just like,
so yeah, T-Risk was hot on your heels for up until basically beating Jabu or thereabouts, and then did not do DC. Went fire, and then is doing everything else.
Everything but DC.
It was the lack of bomb bag that made me not want to go into fire. I'm like, I don't want to do Volvagia with just choose.
That's fair. We also figured from our side it might be that DC is just a faster place to do.
Yeah. Well, I meant, like, if I had a bomb bag early on, I probably would have gotten baited into fire.
Oh yeah, no, it made perfect sense. Your hammer's path, and it's usually more likely, especially because you knew there were 2 keys in the basement loop, that basically all of fire was going to be hammer locked. It was probably going to be fire for the answer.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, okay, it's probably not going to be on the first floor of fire, so it's probably a big commitment. So that's why I was like, okay, I'm just going to wait for a bomb bag. And then I was like, once I only needed Dins, I was like, I do not want to lose if it's just sitting in Dodongos, and people did that early.
Yeah,
so that was my logic for doing that after Jabu. I was really contemplating doing Frogs 1, but I'm like, I gotta pick up the pace.
Yeah, Frogs 1 would have been a bit of a detour. We did see that from, I think, if it was an Ink or T-Risk. Somebody did it for...
I believe it was Ink.
Yeah.
What was
my plan was just to, like...
Frogs 1 is the last though. That was... so.
Yeah, I was just planning. It's like, okay, if I have to go back... like, after Dodongos, I was gonna, like, do 20 skulls, then go back Child, clean up Goron City, Frogs 1, and Lake, and then fire.
Yeah, that made sense.
Okay, I still have an opportunity to route this in another Child segment, but I just gotta rush the fast stuff in case Dins is there and people are gonna finish any minute.
Yep,
and that seemed to be the right idea.
Yep. As an update, One Shot finished 10th with 233.34, and Cola finished 11th with 234.35. So yeah, a lot of people finishing now around this 2.5 hour mark.
Yeah, again, like, this is kind of what I figured, Purple. Like, there's going to be a couple people who manage to skip fire, do things fairly efficiently, probably skip Deku as you suggested for the early finishers, and end up in the 215, 220 range. And then you're kind of, like, on the earlier end of a big wave of people. Like, probably your end of the wave is probably more the people who skip fire. The later ones might be some of the more efficient routers, and better executors who did perhaps do fire.
Yeah.
But like you're not. This is like a seed where you're not. It's gonna take a bit of god routing in a sense to be like the top finisher, but it's also hard to be significantly way behind.
Yeah.
As
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where like the middle of the pack people like 25 to like 35 in this seed are gonna be.
yeah, like you happen to. It looks like I checked refresh the page. It looks like you're getting a 927 points out of this, which is pretty
All
nice,
right.
Purple.
Yeah.
But I expect there's going to be like a lot of people in like the 800s here, 800s,
Yeah.
low 900, like 800, yeah, like 800s here, kind of the middle of the road bunch. Like not a lot of people are going to get a ton of points out of this, but as long as you don't completely dingus brain something, and you like as long for our more, our more experienced runners, I don't think there's going to be a lot of people get completely stuck in this one
Yeah.
either.
Yeah, sometimes when you find a lot of those items that open up points early, like Purple was mentioning earlier, we found Slingshot early, Bow early. When you get all of that landed on you, it does give you a lot of options, but then it gets easy to get lost in the sauce, especially once you have hints like we did. And of course, Path Hint being not very useful since everyone found light arrows very early.
Yeah, your paths were a little terrible this seed.
Yeah.
Which we have more people coming in with Christopho with 12th with 236.20. Bonnaroo with 13th with 236.55, and T-Ris, bottom right, finding Dins, and they are leaving immediately to go to Shadow.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong, Hyper. The bongo path was useful to have that hammer, although, debatable in a sense, perhaps, of getting you baited into Fire Temple.
I mean, I popped off when they found Lens. I was like, heck yes, we're going to see chess minigame. Let's do it.
We had a laugh on restream. But the others are pretty bad. Cactimorpha for irons. Crater took Nova from Mirror Shield, SFM took PG for Storms, and Trail to Evil's Bane for Lights. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
We're all pretty terrible hints.
Yeah. I was getting I had the FW and GTG because I was thinking it could be hammer because the Mirror Shield was hammerlocked, wasn't it?
Mirror Shield is hammerlocked, but because of path prioritization, Shadow's a Shadow med, Spirit was the Fire med. Anything on the path to Shadow cannot be hinted path to.
Yep.
Cannot be hinted on the path.
Again, easy to get lost in the hints. But Fleet finishing 14th with 237.53.
Yeah, like that's why we knew when we saw that Nocturne could not be the path in Crater.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, nope, that has to be something else. Probably Crater Fairy, because I don't think I saw anything on the volcano, and it was in fact Crater for the Mirror Shield.
Yeah.
Because even by that point, we'd seen a lot of the items in the seed. Like the game threw you most of the major items pretty early.
Yeah, it lets you play pretty efficiently.
Like, I think it's, aside from Ink, is probably, unfortunately, I'm sorry, Ink, if you watch this back, a bit of an outlier on the magic meter. I think it's relatively difficult to get seriously stuck on an item this seed.
Yeah, things happen. I've, mispeaked items. Can happen to anyone.
Before you came in, Purple, Hyper was telling us they did their whole see no logic bombs. They did not notice, despite peeking twice, Graveyard Crate that was bomb bag, and they didn't go back to do Dampe.
Oh, that was a bomb bag?
That was a bomb bag, yes.
Bag.
Oh, yeah. So Dampe was packing heat.
Oh, that's
T-Risk getting bomb bag out of Shadow.
Oh, actually, GTG Pierre chest was a bomb bag, so actually that might have been a nut after all in the graveyard.
Might have been a nut?
Oh. Yeah, because that's a bomb bag on Dead Hand, and we definitely did not see that.
None of our runners ended up going look up there.
Okay, so apparently that is in fact nuts, and we are recruited as a restream. You guys are correct.
Yeah, because then there was a Dampe and GTG one as well.
Right. And that had to be... Okay, alright, we're wrong. Sorry about that. Yeah, okay. Peeking is hard.
It is.
Now, that is actually confirmed, because we did in fact just see that bomb bag.
Yeah, we just see third. Our runners so far that we've been watching going to Shadow have been seeing the big chest and be like, nah, not today, and they've been passing it, so.
Oh, yeah. I want to know what these are, but I want to finish the scene.
Yeah, we haven't gotten confirmation, but we're pretty sure one of the ones you skipped is probably second magic meter.
It's either in here or in Garnet. We saw HBA from Tiris. Double Magic is not on there, and If it's not on the Rooney, I think it has to be magic locked.
Yeah. Weighty Words finishing in 15th with 240.16, and right behind them, Sea Falcon in 16th with 240.31. Yeah. We got Alpha doing Ganon fight. Going to finish up here soon in the next couple minutes. We have T-Risk finishing out Shadow.
All right. Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, 2G's purple.
GG's again. Thank you very much for sharing your time with us and sharing your stream.
Yeah. Have a great evening.
You as
Yeah,
well.
and good luck with your remaining calls.
Thank you.
Alcuna finishing 17th with 241.03.
Yep.
Incoherent, right? But yeah, see, we have like you were saying, we're seeing a lot of people finish up right now with Incoherent in 18th, 241.18. Alpha is going to be right behind them. Any Big Goron Sword enthusiasts? Love Big Goron Sword. I'm glad that it was found fairly early for our runners. Definitely sped some things up.
No, yeah, hey, Inca. Yeah, that was in Deku, which all of our runners ended up doing on Restream, so I'm sure a few people skipped that off Restream. It was the only thing in Deku.
Yep. Tenacious Toad, 19th, 241.57. Jimbo, 2 seconds behind in 20th with 241.59. Oh my goodness. Alpha, 21st, 242.04. And Alpha's coming up on the next part. Here comes the blast.
Slight. No, that's done,
Yep.
yeah.
That was done. Too many people finishing. LDK 7th, 22nd, 242.11. Retropolis 23rd, 242.20.
Inca saying he was just far behind enough to metagame into DC for Dins. Yeah, I kind of figured.
Yeah, that makes sense. Also, what do you think of what's your full evaluation star as people start finishing up on Qualifier 5 today?
Honestly, I think this was an okay seed. This is kind of one of those where it's not, again, like big block of finishers. It's hard to get majorly screwed over by the seed. You're not going to get a ton of points out of this necessarily, I think, for most people, but it's also not going to be terrible.
Sure.
As Chat mentioned, it is going to probably be pretty competitive for top 32. Average was like a 950 last year, so if that's the case, this will not particularly be helping your case, as I think the bulk of finishers are going to be again in the 800s here. But this is also not going to be terrible.
No. And to some people's points earlier, when we were finding all those good checks in Lost Woods and people were going jet seed, ? This is a good example of how even you could have a plentiful beginning and just be like looking for one or two things by the end.
Alpha unfortunately cannot join us for an interview. Apparently he was supposed to be out the door 15 minutes ago. Oops.
Okay, well, we appreciate them finishing the run at least.
Absolutely. GG's to Alpha. Yeah, if you want top 32, only really the top 7 got a great time, and the rest kind of purple was like on the edge a bit there at a 920. What was it? 927. The rest is more 927. The rest is kind of more in the it's part of it too. It's just it's highly competitive. But this is OOTRs. This is season 8 of OOTR, so they've been around quite a few years at this point. And it only gets more competitive by the year. So top 32 is going to be incredibly tight.
Are any of those top finishers today people who have been around since season 1, if you're aware or not?
Let's see.
I know some people have legacies here.
Marco is, I believe, has been around since S1, I think, or S2. Marco, I think, might be the oldest of the lot in terms of Rando, although Exodus has also been around for several years, but I think joined the Rando community a little later. He was more on the vanilla side of it at first.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's competitive. It gets more competitive every year. The C-Speed's going to be incredibly competitive this year as well, and we got a peek of that a little bit in the Speed Gaming Live tournament earlier this year, which we had slightly different settings. Smaller top 30, just 32 person bracket. But I kind of with how like season 7 was a little bit different to the usual. See, SGL ended up being a bit of a highly competitive. I was surprised as an SGL admin how competitive our brackets were, and it turned out that well, it's looking like we will have a highly competitive field again here for us 8.
Because you were explaining to me earlier before the stream that you have a lot of experience managing those challenges, and so you're saying that this current season is shaping up to be a pretty tight one.
Yeah, because like every year, obviously, like people come and go. There's some names in this qualifier who I haven't really seen play in a couple of seasons. For example, like Beniru, our 13th place finisher, um, won the tournament a few years back and he kind of has taken a little bit of a break since. So it's nice to see him back. Others who are relatively newer, like this is my first time seeing Ink playing. Purple Alpha and Tears has been around a couple of years each themselves. It's nice to see a mix.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But like the net result ends up being more good players every year. Like obviously
Of course.
some people do leave as, this is random, we do it for the fun. We're not forcing you to play.
Oh, absolutely.
But on average it does come out to we get more and more good players year over year.
Yeah, because part of it is that people gain more and more experience, and the other part is that new strats are learned. People share those tricks. The Ocarina of Time Randomizer community has a long list of shared resources for learning how to run rando, teaching each other. Very helpful, welcoming community in that regard. So when new players come in, they already have a jump start with all those resources getting in to run this.
Absolutely. But yeah, Tyrus on the boat here. But yeah, we have quite a lot of other things going on here, as previously discussed. Top 32 people from qualifiers will move on to the top 32 bracket, the main tournament, and the next 64 are free to join the Silver Gauntlets Challenge Cup, which is going to be a groups of 4 into a 32-player single elimination bracket. I'm going to go stick this TSG Discord invite in the chat as well for those who aren't in there yet. And TSG will be hosting these Challenge Cup English restreams and shoutouts as well to our community members for the international alternate language restreams, because we are a very international community. We've got, as previously just mentioned, I am trilingual. Don't really do Mandarin comms because there's not much of anyone to do Mandarin comms for or with. But we have a very active francophone. We have a very active francophone community that come pretty regularly for. I will be on that team as well this season. We've got ourselves the Brazilian community putting up their restreams as usual. They've been doing it for a few years now. And new for this year for us, for the top 32, is we'll have some German restreams as well. So that'll be pretty cool.
And for anyone who wants to tune in the next qualifier, there will be qualifier 6 tomorrow, starting at 2 p.m. UTC or 9 a.m. Eastern time. So a little bit early for those who are in Central and Western times, but that was the next race if you wish to view, or if you're listening and haven't gotten all of your qualifiers in.
Yeah, because there are plenty more to be had. This is only qualifier number 5. We have 15 more here running through December 22nd.
You think tomorrow's going to be a popular one?
Probably
it's
early. Early for you, but it'll be good for EU. This one's a little late for you. Weekends generally tend to be better.
Yeah.
Well, this one, like, we saw some Europeans. We saw some Europeans in here. I believe our top three are all French. In fact, today, say the Alexis Vogue. Because you can sleep in and whatnot. And some of our international community members can be a little bit have some interesting sleep schedules anyhow.
Oh, that's true.
Not necessarily an insult, but we have fun, and sometimes having fun does require slightly weird times given time zones. I was up at 5 a.m. the other week for a charity restream myself. That was fun, but I was a little out of it by the end of the day.
Oh, absolutely. I'm like, I don't know if I could wake up at 5 a.m. and commentate a restream. I think I'd just be like, yeah, they're somewhere.
Now, usually I don't do comms starting before 8 or after 10 o'clock. Z2R I'll do as late as 10:30, but that's it. Because Z2R is a relatively short game, and even 10:30 is usually pushing it a bit. They'll usually do that if it's like at the tail end of like a double header.
Right, Z2R for everyone else is that's Zelda 2 Randomizer, correct?
Yep.
Cool.
It also is only like an hour and a half, so that helps.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not starting OTR at 10:30 p.m. Past or just generally past like 9:30 or 10 p.m. or before 8 a.m. because unless it's grand finals or like a tiebreaker match or charity,
Oh yeah. Well, also since we're doing qualifiers and we have 4 restreams going on here, it's hard to pay attention to everything when you are fully awake and alert and keep track, especially as you did today. Not only being the restreamer, but also taking excellent notes, deciphering hint logic, keeping all the tools running. Yeah, I don't know if I could operate that. I'm not a morning person, so
yeah, like I've made exceptions, but I did do one like regular just comms once at like 11 p.m. and figured out pretty quickly. Yeah, this was a terrible idea. No, thank you.
yeah, I'd probably mentally shut down after midnight my time, given my current schedule. T-Risk
Yeah,
going
like
up into Ganon though, so we're about to see our last runner here on the restream finish up. But go on, what were you gonna say, Star?
yeah, gonna be a sub 3 hour here, pushing it a little bit, but despite everything, and this is kudos to Tears' skills. Despite everything, it will sub 3, despite having pretty close to 100% of the seed.
Yeah, some seeds end up like that, and they end up becoming hundos, whether you want them to or not.
Yep.
So let's see.
And
Oh, go on.
Tears gonna kind of sadly unfortunately be towards the back end of the finishers pack. We've had a decent amount of forfeits again. Fire Temple, I think, kind of got a lot of people stuck this seed.
Can you see how many have forfeited so far? Do we have a number to share with everybody?
18 out of 70,
18
so
out
yeah.
of 70. That is a pretty significant amount. But like you said, there's a lot of easy ways
Close
to get
to
tripped
one
up.
third. So yeah, there's and this is also an early qualifier. People are more
Oh
likely to
yeah,
forfeit early quals than late ones.
yeah. To your point earlier, they can log 8 runs and they need to take their best 5.
Drop best score and worst 3 are dropped. It's second through
Got it.
fifth that count. So yeah, you
Yeah.
can take up to 3 forfeits and not get punished. The thing is, if you take a forfeit too early, then you might get stuck playing a
Oh,
late
yep.
one. That really sucks. And
Yeah, because
again,
we still have 15
I can
qualifiers.
agree with whoever that was in chat that yeah, like this is not the greatest seed for scoring, but you're also not necessarily completely screwed over, I think.
No, they were still able to work through a lot of things in the sea. They didn't get stuck one searching items, for the most part. I mean, we had some dins here at the end, or in Ink's case, magic, but the runners had stuff to work with, so they're always chipping away at the seed. It always gets long when you get stuck into one route or just trying to get back on a route, right?
Yep.
So we got T-Riz about to play tennis. And that's 32nd place. Finish is still open, but I'm assuming that's going to get closed up pretty soon here as our runners approach this 3-hour mark. Let's see. What was the meanest thing in this seed? Hover boots? Would we say that was the meanest thing in the seed?
I I mean, given that everything else was actually pretty fine, yeah, hovers. I mean,
Yeah.
nothing else was all that bad, to be honest. It's just hover boots because a lot of people got baited fire.
Oh yeah. I would agree. Nothing was too bad. It was all out there. Just some things easy to miss if you're not careful.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, T-Risk with a very clean Ganondorf and moving on to Ganon himself.
Yeah, we are up to 31 finishers here. I'm not going to read the entire list off.
Nah.
In general, we do. We usually read like the first few finishers and whatever pops in. But yeah,
That's
uh,
okay. We appreciate all our runners,
absolutely here.
but we have a
It's
lot
always nice
coming
to
in all
see
at the
good
same time.
turnout.
Oh yeah, no. All the qualifiers have had really good turnout so far, to my understanding. I know the first one's always exciting, which is why I got over 90, but I think all of them have done pretty well. We have a lot of people participating, to my understanding.
Yeah, generally we get well over 100 people participating every year. Well over 100 who do at least one qualifier. That is
Yeah.
usually closer to 200. I think I forget what the actual count is. Would have to go check what last year's was, and last year's was a little lower than typical due to the typical format. 224 last year for individual racers who did at least one qualifier. 268 in S6.
That's great. That's really great to see that high of participation.
Yeah. I mean, it does fluctuate up and down a bit. I know, yeah, with life and everything, pandemic being over, I know I joined during the pandemic because I was extremely bored.
Oh yeah, or just to your point earlier, some people play in a lot of these competitions. This isn't the only one, and so it's easy to burn out on Ocarina of Time. And you're like, I'm going to rest it this season, and I'll come back next year refreshed.
Yep, absolutely. I know I took a month and a half break. This is my first OOT or anything in a month and a half because I needed a little break myself while I focused on a couple other tournaments. Because again, there's randomizers for just about every main series Zelda game that can't be randomized at this point.
Yeah, I took a break for a little while, set down Ocarina of Time rando, but with the season and volunteering to commentate, I was like, I got to de-rust. So I've been doing practice season 8 seeds, and it's been good de-rusting. It's getting the brain turning a little bit again. As that's the fun part. I think maybe you would agree to me to some extent about Ocarina of Time randomizer is figuring out the hint logic paths and what's most efficient, not just clearing everything.
Absolutely. And here we are for Tiras. GG's with going to be finishing up 35th with an initial time of 2:56:43.
Congratulations. GG, everybody. That was a very excellent run. All of our runners did a great job, showed off a lot of different skills, strategies, and shows how just it's easy to miss the obvious stuff sometimes. I do it all the time.
Yep. Tiras will be joining us for an interview here.
Awesome. And we still have a lot of runners still going, everybody. So there's still a lot of times to be logged coming up.
Yeah. All right. Switching to the interview scene here. Tiras will be joining us shortly. I read a little too fast and thought Tiras had tied with Emo Soda, who finished exactly 1 minute faster than looked at it a second time. I was like, nope, not quite.
Nope, not quite. That would be nail biting though. Tie for 34th.
We do sometimes see ties.
Oh yeah,
Which
absolutely.
is inconsequential in qualifiers, but it does matter in
brackets.
yeah,
When it happens in brackets, what do you do?
retime.
Ooh, spicy.
I've done a few myself, and they can be pretty fun.
It can be fun to retime.
It can be. Well, it's pretty hyped, like from your standpoint. It's kind of a pain to retime, technically.
I'm excited to see retimes. I'm not sure if I'd be excited about doing it.
Yeah. And we have Tiras, GG.
Hello, GG. Thank you.
Hello. Great race.
Yeah, that was a seed. I hate the Fire Temple. I
was just about to ask, what are your thoughts on Fire Temple?
I wish that it didn't exist. I wish that it was foolish and pre-completed every time.
I agree.
But that's okay.
These are based, accurate, full factual takes. I do have to ask, so after you finished Fire Temple, we saw you actually leave CAC. What was your thought process there instead of going to DC?
Well, I wasn't interested in DC yet. That was after getting the song, right? After getting Eponos.
Uh-huh.
So I was still chasing the hammer path because it was path to something that was for Bongo. I didn't know what the fuck it was for. I'm like, okay, let me try maybe Hammer Rocks out in Valley. I tried that. I went to GTG. I realized later that it was for the lens. But of course, why would I go do chess game when the entire Fire Temple is there?
Obviously.
Obviously. But that's the main reason why. I figured whenever I found whatever that was, like when I solved that path, then I would start doing DC for whatever the other item was. Because I knew it was going to be somewhere pretty early. But it could have been, anything. Because there was a bunch of, like, Talgoran City, there was still open. Of course, Dampe Race, because dead people have dead checks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you hate Dampe.
Yeah, we hate that guy. But
he gave bombs, though. He's not all bad. He gave you explosives.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
well,
Dampe Grave minigame.
Yes, when he is alive, he gives it to you.
My other question for you is that so early on we saw different strategies. Most of the run, Ink went adult almost immediately. Purple and Alpha did a little bit of child. You were in child the longest, and actually paid off with all those early checks. How did you feel going from child to adult for the first time?
Other than Deku itself, I felt pretty good. Getting everything else up until that point, it was like, all right, I'm pretty stacked for child. It's pretty ideally what I like to do during these seeds. I like to have a pretty, nice child, and then that sets you up for a longer adult. So this definitely did so, but then getting that butter knife in the end, it was like, okay, let me just do Deku, because I didn't check Ped by that point, so we were blindly doing that. So it didn't feel good when it was Baron Stone, but getting BGS also kind of helped a bit in the end.
Yeah. Absolutely. Do you have any questions, Star? Anything hot on your mind for
Not particularly. Kind of. We were discussing kind of about the seed. We saw like this on those. Well, this is one of those quals where you were one of the people who kind of just did not end up doing DC for a hot minute, but like most of the items were fairly early. Didn't I think? Yeah, you were one of some people who got stuck by that.
Ink unfortunately skipped Ocarina Memory Game and did not get Magic, which we were laughing at because they went back and did Slingshot Target, but then didn't do Memory Game, and we were like, oh no! And then of course Magic ended up being, we think, Magic locked.
So that's actually really funny because that's one of the checks that I like to skip normally. That with Dampe Race, I normally don't do that, but if you remember, I was heading towards the scrub and I was 1 rupee short. So I was like, whatever, I'll go do Ocarina Game and grab the rupee that's at the bottom, and then it ended up being Magic, and I'm like, oh well, I guess I would have been in shambles had I not done this.
Rupee poverty W there, absolutely.
Oh, for sure. I definitely had a lot of rupee troubles early on, but it didn't cause too much of a problem. Lots of scumming early on.
Star had a very good observation watching the 4 of you, is that the diagonals land up. So you and Purple ended up taking pretty similar strategies in the mid-late game. Same with Alpha and Ink. And there was a point where you were right behind Purple and Alpha time-wise. It was just that Din stripped you up and you went into fire, and we're like, all right, this is going to be a little bit longer of a run.
Yeah, because like for a good bit in the mid-late game there, kind of, you guys had wildly divergent early routes, Tiris, but it ended up kind of consolidating a bit after about like Forest Deku thereabouts, I want to say, because Purple and you soon thereafter went Ice into Spirit into GTG into, and then basically that was go mode for straight route to go mode for Purple, and you know where you ended up with that one. Alpha and Ink, with the side note of Magic for Ink, went Fire first before doing Ice into GTG into Ice into Spirit into GTG into go mode for Alpha, and again stuff for Ink.
Yeah, I'd ask if you have any questions on the C tiers, but you basically 100%ed it, so you know everything we know.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I got pretty much every item, so I'm not really wondering. Other than I guess the second Magic, I guess, but I don't think you guys know where that is.
We didn't see it. It might have been in Shadow. I think there was a couple big chests nobody opened.
Yep.
Yeah, I did not open that one.
It's
I was mad at it.
We want to thank you, though, for opening that last bomb bag chest, because we thought Graveyard Crate was the 3rd bomb bag, but no, that was a nut. So that corrected our
apparently.
Okay, yeah, no, I was already right in front of it. I was like, may as well open it.
We're like, T-Risk providing the info we need.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. That was a very fun seed to spectate, though, as a runner. I could definitely understand it was frustrating, especially Fire Temple, as I was explaining to Chad earlier. I'm not a Fire Temple fan either. I hate doing it. Love watching it, though. I hate climbing fire. So I'm with you. Just leave fire cleared. I do love Volvagia, though. I love that dragon. So.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise the seed wasn't too bad. It really was just fire. Just fire.
Yeah, there's... Yep. Anyone who skipped Deku and Fire were really lucky, and were probably those who finished very early.
Yeah, I can imagine. I think I peaked when there was like 7 or so finishers, and I was still looking for my Din's pack, so that was another thing where I'm like, okay, I know one of these items is going to be early, likely in DC. I just have to find wherever this frickin' hammer path is.
Yep. That was I think that was a lot with a lot of other people considering how similar they started finishing. I think people started seeing those times like, DC's like Din's is somewhere easy.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing your stream with us. It was very entertaining. We had some shout outs to the Hatsune Miku skin. So good pick.
I'm glad that was appreciated.
Alpha was Kid Goku. So we were definitely represented on the anime front.
Oh, hell yeah.
Any other thoughts you have, T-Riz, about the seed? You looking forward to future qualifiers?
Yeah, I am. This is only my second one so far out of the bunch, so I'm looking forward to the rest of them. Thank you for having me on Restream, even though it was like suddenly at the end and I was kind of nervous, but...
No, you did. Your stream was really fun to watch. You did a really different route than everyone else, and it was a smart way to route, as we talked about earlier. Doing that long child paid off. A lot of these runners had to go back to child and finish a lot of stuff that you already did, so you had a good rhythm there, and you were falling right down the line of all the hints, reading the hints pretty well, and doing all that stuff. It's just, yeah, you had that coin toss, fire, DC, where's this Dins, and sometimes you've got to guess and hope. Yeah. Anything else you want to add, Star?
No, I'm just about out, I think. GG's T-Riz. Good luck on future calls.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah. This one, not unfortunately going to be particularly excellent hero points total of 748 here.
No. But like was pointed out earlier in chat, everyone's kind of getting a mid-score finisher. It's just those roughly first 7 that are seeing some good games from this one.
Yeah, going to be a pretty competitive bracket this year, but good luck in future calls, T-Riz. I'm sure we'll see you around for something or another.
Of course.
Thank you.
And with that, I do think that's pretty much it here for the restream. Please give our 4 runners a follow: Purple Rupees, Alpha, Inc., and T-Riz. Thank you to Burrito for doing comments with me. It was great for your first time. And thank you to our trackers, Carliana, Warren Traveler, Viva, and Mr. Moxie. Coming up ahead on the ZSR schedule, as previously mentioned, we have the next qualifier is going to be tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. UTC in almost exactly 12 hours. That will be qualifier number 6. And we'll have it at 3 p.m. Eastern. We've got to link the past Randomizer Challenge Cup quarterfinals match between Duke Firebird and Quizbull. And then that's it for that. We do have more matches we have more restreams coming up throughout the week. We've got tail end of the Winter Randomizer Season 7 Challenge Cup. We've got a couple other tournaments going on besides more qualifiers. And more Zelda 2 Randomizer, so it's going to be the big thing going on right now here. For now, that's going to be it here for us. We're going to go over and raid one of the other racers who is still going in this qualifier. Let's go say hi to Sir Nicole of Sealand, who is currently in GTG and should be finding that lens in short order. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a good night.
Good night, everybody.